Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Finals Pro League. It's EU Playday number 2. My name is Artie. I'm joined here by the beautiful, illustrious, slightly more bald than last time, Jerry the Music Man.
Oh, you noticed. Thank you very much, Artie. Yes, it's nice and smooth today. Yeah, excellent. It's good to, I'm very happy to be back here on the Pro Hubs channel. Missed the first day of action. Wednesday was a real crazy one on my end, and it looked pretty crazy here from what little I caught, Artie. We have a whole bunch of teams, 12 teams in fact, taking a big chunk of their points today. 6 Playdays, and we're on Playday number 2 over here in EU. Artie, what are you most looking forward to today?
I'm honestly most looking forward to seeing if teams can keep the same energy they had over on day 1 and just keep things rolling. Obviously, just like Season 0, when it comes to how we set things up, the groups shift around. So we got different teams playing with one another. Some teams remain the same, remain in their same groups. Some teams get a whole new experience. For example, this time around on Group A, we're going to have Pulsar once again. And we're also going to be having NDA over here once again. But now Vatican, always hungry, well, they can get a taste of what it's like to go up against the big bad wolf Atelco.
Yeah, and this is a pretty stacked group, possibly the most stacked group we're going to have today, as all of these teams are in the top half, almost. Vatican Esports just in 7th after their first Playday. So, yeah, a really tough one. And Pulsar Esports sitting at the very, very top of the pile, just above their rivals in Aimers as well. If I was to pick a 1 and 2 position after the first day, I'd have bet on those two, to be fair. But I'm very excited to see what the rest of this group can bring to the table.
100%. I think that where it comes to like individual play styles, I want to make calls of, oh, last week we saw this and we saw what Pulsar was doing on, these certain micro strategies, but honestly, the meta changes every single day between what's happening on scrims and what's happening actually out on the field when it comes to the play days. So I have no idea if we're going to see the same stuff yet. But what I do know is that teams that are now going to be here for the first time up against Pulsar on the play day, for example, Always Hungry, they're definitely going to be trying to look back at what happened on Wednesday and see what can we do to change and anticipate how these players are going to act.
Yeah, and from what I gather, it was a very experimental day. There were a lot of things being thrown out just to see what stuck. And of course, it being the first day, you know, you expect there to be a little bit of experimentation. Expect it perhaps today to start settling a little bit, or don't. This is the finals. Anything can happen. And as we punch our way through that wall straight on into Monaco, we can see one of the staples of this meta, or at the current time, the sort of favorite weapon of the lights in the lobby. It's going to be at a 93R. We love to see that burst pistol breaking into the scene.
Absolutely, but as soon as you say that, we're also seeing a Relezi with the V20. I mean, I have not seen, V95. I have not seen the V95 out here in a while, especially up against the 93R. Does he know something that we don't? Yeah, 93R has been pretty much the fan favorite in scrims. Just it has the best burst potential if you can hit your shots, which, as we know, everybody in these lobbies can. We're going to be seeing Vault 2 already. About to get squared away into cash out B, and as that gets opened up here for NDA, the pressure is already on as Vatican looks to close in over towards the Disun building.
Yeah, and they're making their way through the apartments as they speak, taking a couple of pot shots, but nothing's going to be anything lethal at this range. It does look as though NDA are closing that gap. They've dived down, and maybe Resley has just left his team in a 3 versus 2. He doesn't know. Look at this. We have everyone on the side of NDA just falling in, causing chaos there. Norton picks up a big 2-piece there. That's a clean wipe from Vatican to take down NDA in the first part of this game and defend their point. And we head on over to cash out A now, Artie.
I mean, we were talking about the difference between the V9S and the 93R, and, well, that's why people are running the 93R and not the V9S, so, love to see it. We also are going to be jumping over to Pulsar as they try to fight up against Always Hungry, and while Hungry is hungry for that cash, they are also hungry for their dear life. Rampage actually manages to escape there. Yoip does come back in. Jurgen also going to be utilizing a coin here to give Pulsar just enough time to focus on that cash. The goo nades coming in clutch for that stall potential, but for Pulsar, it's going to be buying them just the space that they need. Look over at Always Hungry, trying to find where they can get this next pinch out, but looking at Jurgen, he's going to find some opening damage with his RPG, potentially, but the time ticking down, he's going to try to look for anything he can do to just force Pulsar out of their hidey holes. Diving in with the SA-1216, the damage is chunking. Itelco winched and pulled all the way into the death spiral of whatever the fuck is going on over here. Oh, sorry. This is chaos.
It happens, it happens. And we've got a near wipe here as Lasky goes down, the latest addition to Pulsar Esports. Person left alone, having to defend this point, and Itelco has come back. That res doing well. Now they have an opportunity to steal here. Full strength side. Jurgen puts down his dome. They're throwing away the gas. They're going to try and stick this. I think they might have it. In comes the heavy, though, causing chaos. And he's done just enough to force them off that point. The steal is being stuck yet again. They come in Always Hungry, though. They can't do it. Deaths all around there. The person finds that kill. Lasky with another. Pulsar somehow surge back in and defend their vault. I don't know how they managed that. That was 1v3 at one point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. That's what Pulsar brings to the table, right? Is just the ability to just come through out of absolutely nowhere and make stuff happen. But it comes down to the next set of vaults, though. NDA starting off with a quick gateway. Luckily, gonna be very uncontested over here at Grandma's house. Towards Cash Out C, they actually pull it all the way from the park. That's amazing. Cash Out D, on the other hand, going to be in a little bit more of a, well, I would say unideal positioning, but to be completely honest with you, for Pulsar, this kind of fight out here in the park actually suits them quite well. Oh, but Always Hungry, they're already in that pike closing distance here as Rampage tries to make those shots work out, chunking Persian and Lasky out before the rest of the team closes in. Lasky having to run away, 25 HP. Atelko gets bursted. Persian goes out just to Lasky. Now, sticking the hard res, not going to be able to do so, though, as Pulsar gets wiped before that vault finishes up.
Control of the vault going the way of Always Hungry. A bit of a rivalry emerging here between the purple and pink squads. We will keep an eye on that. But for now, let's head on over to Cash Out C. NDA defending their second in a row, potentially. And they're putting a lot of pressure here on Irelzi. Look at him. Oh, sorry, Ooh. And he's finally taken down OG with that lockbox, causing real chaos. He just couldn't get his footing there. And that's a wipe up against our very first national team in the finals, as the Vatican Esports are sent back down again. Only 3 kills to their name across the team. They're really struggling in this lobby, Artie.
Yeah, pretty insane. But you look down to Pulsar. They've got a lot more than 3 kills, but they also don't have that cash out to their name just yet. Hiding from Vatican, actually on the respawn, coming into third party this. That's going to be fantastic news for Always Hungry, who have actually chosen to dive over to the other side. Always Hungry, not even part of this fight anymore, around their own cash out. Pulsar take cash out D for themselves. Here come Vatican, though, closing in to try to make something work out.
Wow.
Persian going to be able to do what he can to withstand and overcome, and the damage comes through with Telco hitting that last shot there. They try to overcome. Always Hungry. They decided, you know what, we're probably not going to win if Pulsar comes over to our cache, so we're just going to go over and make that not our problem as they try to overcome with the next cash out over on their side. Wild stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to underestimate the power of the Infuser again. I mean, I don't think many people are, even after the recent nerf to the light healing gadget, but it's just, it swings fights so well. And we can see now, Always Hungry, top of the leaderboard for just a little bit until Pulsar confirm their cash out as we approach the final wave. And they've tapped Vault 5 under a little bit of pressure here from Evolution and the rest of Vatican Esports. They need to make an impact here. Of course, you're never out of it in the finals, and with the top 3 teams in this lobby right now quite close together, a doubled up cash out is probably what they'll be looking for. Great shots coming out from Evolution there as the Pike just eats those kinds of targets up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We've seen a lot of Pike action over the past few days of Pro Hubs, and we're starting to see why.
Oh yeah, the teams that are able to put the medium in the position to use the Pike well, it's gonna look like this. You're gonna be seeing every single bit of chunk damage come through. And Lasky, though, he's gonna be able to get a refrag on his own accord. Irelzi gonna barely escape death's grasp there as Lasky goes with the 9-3R back over to Telco. Telco getting rezzed by Persian. They're trying to figure out where the last remaining player from Vatican is. Just underneath the roof there. The res comes through. Ooh brings Evolution back, and it's just sort of a hunt fight here throughout these buildings here in Monaco, trying to figure out exactly where these teams are huddling together. But in this chaos, they don't even know if it's more than one team they gotta worry about. The D-bat from the rooftop, the winch to pull somebody out. Evolution down to very low HP, 75 HP. Oh, but both Rampage and Irrigan are gonna fall through. Always Hungry, just down to Yoip. Over to the other side, we also see NDA and Pulsar fighting it out. But for now, it's going to be a good steal here in favor of Vatican.
The sad thing is that steal isn't even enough to put them in 3rd place. They'll need to pack it up with a couple of kills and hope that they can overtake some of their opponents, but they really needed a double there. And it doesn't look like it's going to stick for long anyway. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's the other cash out that's being stolen. It looks as though Pulsar Esports have won their fights. They've taken over cash out A, and they've only got now about a minute to defend it and defend their 1st place finish. Over here on cash out B, we've still got 00 sort of patrolling as it is. They don't have long to secure this. It will be done in about 30 seconds or so. And it doesn't look like anyone wants to contest them. They know that it's a relatively meaningless effort to try and do so. They're all sort of putting their eggs in A. And at the moment, a steal attempted but failed. It's a really tough point to attack right now, Artie. There's only about 37 seconds left.
But look at that beautiful positioning. So Pulsar is ready to just jump in and play from the cave here. I really love that. The ability to just play from actually anywhere that you are needed. They know that this is going to be a third party, so they want to play as passive as possible. OG about to try to winch the cash. He actually misses the winch on the cash out. Still has the opportunity to dome and barricade, but Pulsar, they have to get in there to protect their cash here, knowing that that is going to be putting them in the crosshairs of Vatican Esports and the like. As always, Hungry comes through as well. We're already down to just one player left for Pulsar. Everybody is dying here in Monaco, and it is still going to be Pulsar holding their own. And look at the difference between second and third place. 28-5 to 27, I believe that was. It is such a bloodbath in that second and third place, but gotta hand it to Pulsar. We expected this from them on map 1 to dominate, and they absolutely did.
Some excellent play there. Just the objective manipulation really working for them. I want to give a shout out to Evolution at the end there. We saw Vatican Esports, at a point where even with one of the final cash outs, they weren't in a position to try and get third or fourth, but they had to put a load of kills together and they managed it. They really went in deep there at the end, Evolution especially with that pike, causing chaos and picking up a few kills at the end. It put them ahead of NDA, who end this round in last place. Not what they were hoping for.
Not what they were hoping for, but yeah, you're right. It was Vatican that started at the very bottom, where that cash out that they were able to secure on the other side of the map wasn't enough to bring them up, but they got enough kills to put them into third. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, it was. We saw some real impressive plays, but I feel like it wasn't the best that the finals has to offer yet. I feel like teams are just warming into it today. There were definitely some strange moves, some errors here or there, but also, the general bar is quite high, as we've come to expect at Pro Hub. So I'm looking forward to the rest of this group. Of course, if you're new here, or if you are only familiar with our very first season a few months ago, we now run 5 of these maps a day per group. So there's even more action for each team to get their greasy mitts around. And yeah, it just means that we can kind of compress the season into fewer days. There's only 6 play days, but roughly the same amount of gameplay across the whole season, which is just a better way to do it, Ardy. I'm enjoying that today we've got a slightly longer broadcast and we get to see more action.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, the thing is that more finals per day is actually doctor recommended for a better life. So the fact that we could do more finals per day when it comes down to the Pro Hubs and looking not only at our EU play days, but also the NA play days, happens just a few hours after. Honestly, I think everyone here should be living pretty amazing lives.
Yeah, they'd be pretty happy with themselves. And here we go. Off to Skyway Stadium. We're doing these maps in release order today. Almost. It's like very close to it. But yeah, you can see along the bottom there, Skyway, the second of our maps, and every single group will be going through this same gauntlet. So, here we are, Skyway Stadium, and I don't know. There's not much to talk about right now as teams get set up.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is that I'm curious to see if Vatican is going to be sticking with their initial pick, the V9S. If Irilizzi is going to be swapping off to the 9-3R, I definitely see a lot more teams sticking on the 9-3R over here on this map. And I will say that Skyway does play a little differently to Monaco. There is a lot more opportunity for open and long-range fights, so we will be seeing the Pike actually at its best here versus the, sort of down and in the... really in the nitty-gritty of it when it comes to Monaco. But over here, we already are seeing a little bit of a measuring contest, to say the least, over here towards the construction site sponsored by Volpe, as Pulsar is waiting for the right time to jump in, knowing that one member of NDA is actually cut off from the rest of the team.
Yeah, on the other side of the map, a very different fight. Telko actually being cut off here, needs to be rescued there at range by Lasky, who tries to pin one down, but over on the other side of the map, we saw Vatican get wiped in the vault fight. Here, we haven't even seen a team fight before that plug is begun. And no one has died yet either. Perzon just barely clinging to his own life as the Heavy has to wait for that regen to hit. Lasky again taking some peeks, but it just feels as though Pulsar, they're not getting set up properly. Oh! Oh, no! That is not great for Lasky.
Yeah, for Lasky and for the entirety of Pulsar now not having their pinch pressure coming in from the other side. Is gonna, even though it's still down to a 2v2, no lights left, but Norton gets rezzed up and Pulsar gets collapsed in on. But wait, OG goes down? No way, he's the one that dies in that engagement, right? We are going to be seeing, though, NDA playing for a very good opportunity to just keep everybody back up at the same time. Telco went over to Rez Lasky. Now that Lasky's back, Verzin's going to buy as much time as he can to retain control and not get fully shunted out of this position. Cash out manipulation starting out strong here, is able to pull it away from the entire defensive setup the NDA has. And as Telco starts the steal, he's not going to be sticking to it. As Norton peeks, the pike is going to deliver. OG finds a pick. It's down once again to a 2-on-2. But now with Verzin down, just up to Lasky, finds another one. Lasky versus Deserved. What's going to happen right now is Deserved finds the paddles onto OG. Lasky, mere moments to take him out before OG is back. Once he's respawned, looking around, the winch misses. Lasky's gonna be delivering the damage, but unfortunately, he's unable to finish it off. And NDA withstand and overcome the Titan that is Pulsar.
Excellent stuff there. Really smart play from Deserved, and a deserved victory there on that first point for NDA, turning around their fortunes after a miserable first map. On the other side of things, we see Vatican Esports also having a reversal of fortunes as they managed to take out Always Hungry, it seemed, and claim their first box. So a very different story here so far on Skyway. But at the moment, Always Hungry in a power position, defending both 4 and D, as the Vault and the Objective have spawned very near each other. It looks like everyone's converging here, Artie. Some kills coming out initially for Rampage as he finds a kill onto 00. They find a second onto Evolution. It's a wipe, as they only had to trade a single light for the cost of the entire team of Vatican Esports.
Wow, honestly, a crazy set of events here as Vatican just, they got their cash at the very least, but it's still just going to be an absolute bloodbath now as Pulsar makes their way to just continue to collapse and say, hey, you know what? Kills are worth something. We're going to go ahead and take those. A beautiful res coming through here as well, but Telco finds a res of his own. They are not happy after the situation with that last cash. So they come here, they clean up shop over on the office building. Wild, to say the least.
Unfortunate for Always Hungry, really holding that position, but they could only manage one team wipe, and then the third party from Pulsar Esports, it always gets them. Norton finding a kill onto Vatican Esports, who cannot catch a break right now. And here comes the Pike to unleash hell in the backside of this heavy, but the Shack is doing decently, not decently enough. 00 goes down as Norton picks up that kill. That's another wipe onto Vatican Esports. The paper C is crumbling.
The paper C is crumbling. Well, over at the estate, sponsored by Volpe, the estate should also be crumbling very soon, as Always Hungry is hungry for their slice of the cash pie. Right now, Always Hungry diving in, putting every single bit of pressure they can towards the roof just to bait NDA out of their positioning. A beautiful winch is going to take Norton completely out of the game. He's going to have to side an NDA even to just get back in the arena, but they are going to try to res him back up as OG finds 2 picks, one on Rampage and one on Jurgen. Yoip, once again, finding himself in a position to try and bring the team back from the brink. Will he be able to, as NDA withstands and overcomes? And this is a very standout performance from NDA today, because this is the exact same pressure that we saw coming from the construction site earlier.
All right, NDA and Pulsar came into this map, and they took a bit of a beating. And now, for the past, 2 fights, they just said, no, we're getting back on the script. A couple of wipes against Always Hungry and Vatican Esports in a row. And now we're almost completed on both of these second cash outs, and I don't see any way for this to flip. So we're going to go into the final wave of cash outs with every single team having secured one during the course of it. So it really is all to play for in this final wave, Artie.
Yeah, well, Always Hungry still needs to do what they can to get on the board, as long as they can jump in
soon
here. Yeah, if they can't do this, then it will be very, very difficult for them to try to make an impact over in the next ones. But for Pulsar right now up at the top, they are holding and playing that stall so steadily. Verzin going to be able to find one, but Yoip does manage to come through and make sure that it's not worth anything. But Pulsar just wipes the floor with the remaining players of Always Hungry, and Pulsar secures second for now. Vault 5, Vault 6 about to be on the board here, but This is crazy stuff. I mean, NDA, after what happened on Monaco, they've activated like sleeper agents. Look at how aggressive and how tight they're playing.
Yeah, I had to correct myself as well there, Ardy. Obviously, you caught on it. Always Hungry have not gathered themselves a single cash out this game, so NDA really far ahead, and they've already started the final cash out in a very nice place. I love this spot for defending, but they are going to attract a lot of flies here. It's hot right now, and that is a meaty surprise down there. In comes the utilities. He thinks twice about throwing that dome shield. They pop the gas early and burn it, so that should clear the way for a potential steal later on, but they do need to find some kills first.
Yeah, finding kills, well, something that Always Hungry is going to be able to do, as Double O
Great
manages to grab at least one. But yeah, this is just chaotic happening over here in the business office side of things. We're looking to see Cash Out A just stay uncontested by NDA, that is, at least until Pulsar starts to make their way over in a way that matters. Start stealing that cash out down the cafeteria. We're going to be seeing Norton Deserved about to drop down to the bottom.
Oh,
now Norton is a bit late on the comeback, so the pinch timing is not there where it needs to be. But Pulsar, they're going to get chunked anyway. Lasky goes down thanks to some well-placed SA-12-16 shots coming from OG. And you're going to jump back up. Person does find a pick of his own accord, though. But NDA is going to try to do what they can to get that res as soon as possible. Pulsar just down to a telco. They know that cash is going to get flipped, but they don't care about that. They need to stabilize for this fight.
Yeah, 2 up right now as Lasky had coined back in, and we're maybe going to see Perzon come flying, but he's only just respawned himself. So this is really last gasp saloon. 30 seconds or so on this cash out. An unfortunate missed jump pad there. Oh, Lasky with the opportunity to get a pick, and it's followed up on by the Pike. OG, his days are surely numbered here. But that clutch barricade might save him the dome. He's throwing everything in the way.
Oh
and
my God!
Gets the kill! Unbelievable from OG. How did he cling on to life like that? Either way, it's left him in a 1 versus 2 as his teammates couldn't reproduce the same heroics. He's trying to deck the gas. He licks enough to kill one person, and he gets a second. Unbelievable from OG. Carries the team to a first place finish. Only 20 seconds left, Ardy. Let's see what's happening on Cash Out B.
I mean, just the same amount of chaos, different colors on the screen. It's going to be Rampage going down to Evolution. Evolution just doing what he can to make sure that this steal can come to fruition, but Always Hungry needs to get on the board. They know this will secure them second place. Even though they get wiped, the timer is in their favor, and they're going to finish in second here. After not getting a single cash out, the fact that they were able to climb all the way up to second just shows you what the finals is all about. But let's talk about NDA, because what a standout, honestly, career-defining game for OG.
That was just something else. I cannot believe he won the 1 versus 1 against Lasky. He had no right. He was being chased down relentlessly by that light. And on like 2 HP or something, drops a barricade, drops a dome, turns and lands every shot he needs to with the SA-12. And then the hero play on the cash out to finish it off, getting 2 kills in a 1 versus 2 there.
I mean,
yeah, he had no right.
You're talking about the shots. I'm thinking about the fact that he put every single piece of utility down to make sure that not a single bullet entered his body when it needed to. Like, that, whenever somebody tells me, like, oh, good players in the finals are always, like, you know, doing something sus, or like their aim is like, so you have to be a good aimer. There was nothing about aim that mattered in that fight. OG had the perfect positioning, the perfect utility use. I'm going to keep glazing this. The absolute gameplay that we just watched to make sure that is 50 HP. And I thought, okay, even that, like, what, you misplaced that barricade by a millisecond, and one of those bullets is going to enter your skull. You misplaced that dome by just a bit to not be able to get your winch out in time, you're done. Everything was perfect. And then, yeah, I could tell that there was, like, not enough brain cells left for that cash out stall, but he still made it work. That was pure adrenaline and norepinephrine when he was figuring out, like, to shoot the gas mine and then, oh, I don't have to peek around the corner enough to get those last shots out. Like,
yeah.
That was, I guarantee you that OG, like, if that was me, I would have blacked out by the time the barricade gone down, all right? Like,
yeah. Yeah, you can tell he was already on a high. There was even, honestly, a couple of, like, missed shots on the gas mine. And that's how you know, like, a little bit of panic setting in, but he's still crossed the line. So, yeah, he's human, but he looked inhuman at points during that run. So yeah, really, really good props to OG. Breaking 10 kills as well, the only person in the lobby to do so in that game. So it wasn't just one moment, it was a consistent performance from him. And that has put NDA on the map after a sordid first map. And now we head over to Fortune Stadium. I'm excited. I love Fortune. Everyone loves Fortune. It's our favorite map in the game at this point. I don't think much more needs to be said about this map.
Oh, absolutely. And, I mean, yeah, for NDA, they got to be feeling good coming into this, but Fortune Stadium, this really is one of Pulsar's best maps. And for Pulsar, I mean, hey, they need to come back in first place here to keep up the running. Right now, Pulsar is set at the #1 point owner in our scoreboard here. #1 on the leaderboard for the EU playoffs so far. And so for them, getting even one map taken away by NDA is scary territory. Speaking of NDA versus Pulsar, here we go. Already jumping over to the Holto building. Gonna see Pulsar trying to split up the damage. OG can only shoot so many people at once, but he's still gonna be able to manage to hit all 3 in that engagement before finally going down to a Telco. Deserved finds a pick of his own as Norton cleans up Persian. Just down to a Telco 1v2. Norton survives. Deserved finds a res on OG. And the Telco needs to find a res of his own here.
And that's the wipe coming out as Vatican Esports come out on top there. Always Hungry, yeah, really struggling on the other side of the map, but still action here. Love that Infuser. They're going to struggle without Person, though. I don't think it's really worth it to coin this early on, but he has done so. An early gamble. Might come to bite them in the behind later on, but this is a very nice glitch. It should cause a little bit of problems here as OG is left completely without defense. He throws the cash box up and says, here you go, take this instead of my life.
Honestly, a pretty good play. Like, this is, I gotta say, I am gonna be watching OG very closely the next few matches. Every single decision this guy makes, I think, is something that you can learn from as a viewer, as a player. For me, as a lowly diamond ranked grinder, I gotta say, I'm learning from this. Looking to see NDA right now hold up on the staircase, hold up on the Holto stairs, as Pulsar looks to try to recombine efforts from the top. But they drop it down directly towards OG. Say, hey, you know what? You deserve this. You've been doing very good. Take that steal. Well, one player is removed from the fight here. Pulsar Esports, they're going to be trying to capitalize on this, but doesn't go exactly as planned. Person going to get chunked out here, and that frag is not going to be taken back. Wait, though, as Elko finds one onto Deserved. That's going to remove the resing ability from... Wait, but no, they just... Wait. The Telco? Hello? Okay.
Oh, there he goes. There he is. He found the res onto Person. Now they're going to regroup here. Lasky, again, separated from the group here. And the 2 versus 3. Pulsar keep finding themselves in odd positions and having to spend coins quite early on. But they do want to target NDA here. That's the main thing. We've seen them take fights against this team a number of times. Perhaps seeing them as the biggest threat here. Always Hungry, you know, sort of going for blow with them, both in the standings and across today. But yeah, there's definitely a target on NDA's backs at the moment from Pulsar Esports perspective. Up top, you can see they're just trying to regroup.
Oh, Person!
There's a smell.
Finds one onto Deserved, yeah. Deserved. And El Talco finds Norton. There we go. They figured out exactly how to do it. They winched the cash all the way out from the hidey hole that NDA was holding onto. But OG, he's going to be able to deal with the Telco. He's going to be able to at least find the one. And his Deserved coins back in here as well. Possibility that we're going to be seeing just a little bit more fight on this cash out. Timer is close to being done, but hey, this is NDA we're talking about here. They're going to make magic happen if they can.
That gas has caused too much problems, though. The heals can't commit, can't make any difference. Lasky finds 2 as he heals up his teammates as well. Huge impact from the light and the 93R during that fight. Only Deserved left standing. He was on Overwatch during that, landing shots with the pike, but they weren't meaningful enough. That first cash out goes the way of Pulsar Esports as NDA decide to start the respawn timer early. 2 teams having been wiped, Vatican Esports down as well. Always Hungry gathering their first cash out seemingly quite easily. And we head into the second wave of cash outs here.
Jerry, I gotta say, as far as cash out fights go, cash out A, NDA versus Pulsar, that was a barn burner, right? And that's just the first set. We still got 2 more waves of cashes to go
Yeah.
here. This is going to be insane, this match, I can tell you already. Always hungry, though, they retain pretty perfect control, although I don't know if Yoip has gotten into a position to gateway that vault into a place that matters just yet. We're going to be seeing a lot of just pike positioning happening here from Vatican, but there we go. The gateway going to be maneuvering all the way over. It's closer to D now, but NDA is here as well. NDA says, hey, if we want to maintain first, we got to make sure that we're not caring too much about what Pulsar is doing. They're going to play their own game. That means third partying over to the cache. Now, this is currently controlled by Always Hungry. The Vatican is going to do what they can to try to get that seal, but that seal's not coming through as Vatican is reduced to a single player as Double O tries to make this work out. But Always Hungry is already repositioned up to the top. They know that NDA is going to be in between Vatican and that cache, so they're not worried about this just yet. They need to stabilize. Jurgen finds one on a Norton. They're going to try to get the res onto Rampage here early on. Vatican as well, just looking to see if they could get their reses and try to recombine to the point while the two big dogs are fighting in the other room.
I think Pulsar are getting away with a free cash out over on C, it seems. Oh, no. Caught from behind there, the double barrel not able to cause enough damage, and taken out there is Yoip by OG. But he can't roll with it as Irrelizy finds him in response. We have a three-way melee here. Somehow Deserved survives a little bit longer than he should have. The race comes through. It's utter chaos here, Ardy. The Shack tearing through bodies as he can't quite connect with the final one. That hook doesn't work either. Jurgen and Yoip find kills of their own, but Evolution goes and finds one. He's the last one standing on Vatican. That's the wipe. Yoip collects the spoils, and NDA, having been wiped in the process as well, means Always Hungry the team coming out on top here, defending their cash out admirably.
Absolutely. I mean, over on this area of the map, right, Sector 2, this is a place where it's based off of that same building in Skyway Stadium where, you know, that same chaos was happening in the last map, but it looked wholly different this time around. And for NDA, the fact that OG got picked really early meant that they could not capitalize on the rest of it. But hey, this time NDA is like, you know what? Maybe it is worth it to fight Pulsar here. There's just enough time left. Maybe we can do something with it. Pulsar, though, they're playing off the point. They're playing for that stall potential. The first stall will come through. It's going to knock OG down to half HP, and they're going to collapse in, try to find him. Heals are not going to be connecting here from Norton. As Norton goes down, OG going to get chunked away as well. We're up to Deserve, who will not find the time to use those paddles. Instead, that cash is going to go the way of Pulsar Esports. He's going to jump down and make sure that, well, if he's going to go down, he's not going down without a fight.
Great stall there by Pulsar, and you get to see the benefit of having so much time to set up your defense. They had layers upon layers of defense there, able to stall it for so long, and they really didn't need to stall it for that long to confirm it either. Two cash outs going the way of Always Hungry and Pulsar Esports at the start of this game puts them firmly, well, pretty much neck and neck out in front of the rest of the pack here. It's almost a fight for scraps between Vatican and NDA. They're going to want to double it potentially. I mean, Vatican maybe could steal second with a single cash out if they're lucky, but it's going to be rough.
Oh yeah, Person going to be dedicating his RPG to blowing bubbles and popping that bubble out early here. We're going to be seeing the fight happen over towards the cash out here. Lasky does get away with the vault. He will also take out Norton. Wait, how did that happen? Yoip and Jurgen going to be fighting two of their own. Deserved finds one onto Lasky, Pulsar, and an NDA in the classic 2v2. We're going to be seeing Person get his health all the way back up. At Telco, be looking for the opportunity to just keep Deserved, keep OG's health bar from resetting, although they will find the time to do so. At Telco, going to be the last player standing as NDA takes this cash all the way out. They need to double this.
Yeah, they were guarding B to prevent that plug. They're going to make sure it's a double, but they have to steal as well. And at the moment, Always Hungry, having gotten that first initial plug on A, already half done, means that everyone's going to be over here. NDA need a very quick wipe against Always Hungry, and then to flip this box is going to be incredibly difficult for them. Always Hungry a little bit further afield than maybe they'd hoped to be as that barricade comes out, but the DMAT is enough to drop it down. OG grabs the guy as he falls down, but he can't bring him all the way to the bottom. Another attempted steal here, another two attempted steals here. Always Hungry have to stick this, or rather NDA have to stick this to have any hope, but they're being forced off it. And now I really do feel as though it's probably too little too late. Always Hungry are going to be way out in front. They're going to hope that the chaos guides them to victory here, Ardy.
Oh, but why? I mean, hey, Chaos could have guided them to victory, but they take on too many fights at the same time, and they're already down. Always Hungry, going to be down a player as well. They're medium, looking for heals, trying to find any scraps on the floor. Right now, Pulsar going to be taking full control. Pulsar is going to be taking the steal here. The D-Mat's still on cooldown, but they stall it out. They stall it out just long enough, but no, they didn't. Pulsar, they get the steal. And 2 members of Pulsar, they're going to go down, but always hungry. They're still down to just 1. You're going to be coming back right now, and the res on Rampage does not come to fruition, but Yoip, he manages to overcome, but Pulsar still got away with his cash out. How did they stick that steal? How did NDA die in that fight? And what did we just watch as Pulsar walks away with the W? Again, on a map that really does favor them here, NDA just went completely all out to make sure that it was a scorched earth policy on that double.
Always Hungry are going to be kicking themselves, specifically Rampage. I know he's not going to like this, but he got caught in 4K. They're really struggling with his movement and with the denial. Obviously, a lot was being asked of him. The last one standing against an entire team on Pulsar Esports, but ran out of D-mats. Caused a bit of a problem, that goo. He wanted to get underneath. And yeah, it was a really, really tough one for them. Obviously, motivations at the end being questioned in the lobby, but we saw how it played out. We saw that, NDA absolutely had to double to try and chase a higher spot. And it made perfect sense for them to go and do just that. Pulsar Esports, though, the ones stealing the spoils, and NDA, unfortunately, that gamble didn't work out for them. They couldn't get the steal immediately, and as we've seen, Ardy, it's really difficult to steal towards the end of the game. You have to be Pulsar to put it off, apparently.
Okay, every time this happens where there's like that last second steal and you kind of, as a caster, you try to like read it and be like, you know what, they got it or no, they didn't. And genuinely, like, I did not think that there was a universe where they got it. And I love that I looked over to chat, everyone else also agreeing with me. In what universe do you steal that? If you've been playing the finals for as long as all of us have, how do you get that steal? And so, I mean, that's the thing though, right? Is that when it comes down to the timer, when there's only 15, 20 seconds left in the entire match, you know that last cash out is going to be everything. You play differently, your priorities change because, hey, if there's a third party, a fourth party, there's a fifth team that came into the lobby somehow, and they're also fighting for this. It doesn't matter what happens as long as you get that steal. So give your life for that steal. I always talk about this when I'm coaching as well, is that the cash out, your priorities change depending on where that timer is. And that timer was in a position where it was, hey, everything goes into this. And I mean, for NDA, when that cash out was on the top floor before that drop, they were in a really good position to make that steal happen, but it comes down to the panic and the micro plays, because I think that a team like this that's playing at this level knows you got to sit on top of the cash out, because if it's going to, get dematted, you need to be able to ride it all the way down. But it's just one of those things where, hey, you're maybe slightly exposed, you don't want to play for it, you're not running the goo, so you can't get the cover if you do choose to stand on top of the cash out. It's little things like that I mean, even if they just winched it away from into a position where they couldn't get dematted down, that would have changed the entire lobby. But that's what we love about the finals, is it comes down to these micro plays that you just can't know what the right answer is until after everything is said and done.
Yep, that do be the thing. Exactly what you just said there, Ardy, for the past minute or so. I echo that sentiment. No, it's good. You go off, King. Like, I love it. So, anyway, right now, we're on the Zomi Citadel. One of my new... this map is really, really growing on me. I've got to say, I love the design. I love the layout. I love that it feels like a really large map, but you don't have these huge sight lines that can feel very oppressive in certain other maps, like, say, Cis Horizon. It plays real nice. And so far, I mean, Always Hungry, obviously they're going to be kicking themselves after that last map, but just to put things into perspective for a moment here, they've won not a single map so far, but they have consistently come second. And that can be easily enough to get you through this stage of the tournament. So, if nothing, they've been very consistent today, and I've got to give them credit there. Unfortunately, right now, they are consistent across the board as a team in that they are all taking damage. Jurgen taken out by OG, his opposite number. Yoip and Rampage finally hit that regen, but they're going to have to fall back as they're in a 2 versus 3 here. Really struggling to step up to the same level that the Orange team of NDA are putting out to them. At the moment, we can see, Orange, once again, NDA, they seem to be very good at getting that first vault and immediately ferrying it over to the cash out. I haven't seen them waste any time across the whole of the 4 maps that we've seen today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even when they're in positions where Norton can't use the gateway to do that, they still somehow position themselves to just put OG as like the front runner, say, hey, you gotta go, you want to get to my light player, you gotta go through me. I mean, it's so fantastic to see when that stuff happens. Pulsar, on the other hand, they're big chilling. We're gonna be seeing Always Hungry about to dive in right now, and in this building, we do see a lot of different plays start to come to fruition. Is Always Hungry. Well, they've changed things up. The Famasi are going to be allowing a lot more tight control here for Rampage as they start to move into position.
Nice
but as that cash gets dropped down, NDA, they're positioning themselves tightly around the stairs. Not a single player getting too far away from one another. As Norton finds one on the Yoip, we will get a trade out in the form of Deserved here. It's already down to a 2-on-1. Rampage cannot withstand NDA. They played for their own drop and made sure that it was going in their favor. Over to the other side, though, we see Pulsar versus Vatican. And over on the CNS side of things, this color palette is going to make it a lot harder to find your targets, especially as the chaos and all the particle effects start to dive through. Pulsar, they're playing outside.
Yeah, Vatican have been a little bit anonymous in the past couple games, so they really want to turn up the heat here. Bit of pressure on the cash out as it drops through. The DMAT has enabled it to go to that bottom floor, but not much pressure on the players, and that's the problem here. A full HP Pulsar Esports is not a side you want to be looking at, as they have a nice opening directly onto the point here. Everyone on Vatican lit up. Down go two of them simultaneously. Only Irilzi on this light with the ray gun in hand, but he can't finish any of them. That's a clean team wipe coming out from Pulsar as they find their first cash out. On the other side of things, NDA looks like they've done just enough to defend their points as they are wiped, but the timer works in their favor. 13.5k apiece to the teams on the left side of your screen.
Okay, can we just scale back for a second? Is it just me, or is time just moving so much faster over here on Nozomi? Because when we were on Monaco, I felt like that very first cash out took actually an entire year. And then this is like, we just started the map, and Pulsar is already done, and we're moving over, we're already on the research facility. What's happening? Right?
It's taking their time with the team fights, right? It's been basically just one long team fight from start to finish each time. We haven't seen as much Vatican. I think they lost immediately. Oh, wow. Nice shot there as the model. Oh, okay. Atelco deciding that he's going to just advertise every single medium weapon in this game. I don't think there's a single medium weapon he can't use to monstrous effect.
Atelco dual blades match win.
Yeah. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Same. I gotta say, though, the model is really on show on this map. A lot of teams have been experimenting with it versus the Pike, just because the fact that this map has so many opportunities to just dodge out of that Pike damage range. And using the model, I mean, you're flipping everything on its head. A big lock bolt here. NDA was using the lock bolt last time as well on Wednesday, so happy to see OG still finding value from it here. Is Vatican. They get chipped out. They're all spread out. OO goes up to the top there. Evolution finds one onto OG. He gets instantly traded out. And now Vatican, well, they are just down to Irilezi, who will try to do what he can here. Finds a little bit of damage, but does not get the finish, as NDA has time to restabilize and recuperate here.
We've had some real moments of watching NDA be incredible human beings. Watching Norton be an absolute wasp throughout all of that, but still also getting a clip of trying to heal an opponent was really nice. So yeah, just love that. It's clear that these guys are human, despite what you might think at times. Now, as we go on to the other side, we've seen Always Hungry just flip this box here, and Pulsar Esports are coming in for the retake. Really heavy-handed here as they're chasing down Rampage 3 versus 1, but as we know, the DMAT is such an incredible tool for escape. He's managed to keep himself alive, but there we go. Atelco finally finds it. Jurgen, though, and Yoip win their ones, so it's Atelco versus 2. He hits him in the back there. 2 shots, but no, Yoip with the double barrel. It's the much better shotgun in that situation, and that's the wipe onto Pulsar.
Incredible stuff, and honestly, just good micro stuff. Okay, like I said, right, that first set of cash outs happened instantly, and now we are getting multiple team fights here in the second wave, and this feels more normal. Creeping and crawling through the CNS building right now as NDA looks for their opportunity. Where is Vatican going to be striking from? They now have deduced that it's going to be from underneath, so waiting for the opportunity to drop in, lockbolt in hand, to just stunt out any bit of movement. There it is, cash out's going to get started. The win pinch out into the road. Barricade as well to buy a little bit of space. This is beautiful plays. This is exactly what you expect from OG. He's going to be able to double it up there. Well, a little bit more pressure, but even though he goes down deserved, finds the final. We do get the res immediately head on to OG, and Vatican is wiped out from this earth, going back. Now we also look to the other side, and currently, Pulsar, they're down to just Lasky. No control over the cash out here. Always hungry. Actually going to be able to walk away with this one here. Even though they don't overcome Pulsar in terms of cash. Lasky puts this on his back and finds 3 to finish the team wipe. They don't need to win the cash out. They just need to win the fight.
Wow. Yeah, some really impressive individual performances that we're seeing here. Lasky, Yoip, everyone just popping off. Norton as well having a real game of it. I want to highlight Deserved as well. During that cash out that we saw NDA on the other side of the map complete, his positioning was perfect. He just lets OG and Norton do their thing, occupy the cash out as much as possible, finds a perch and unleashes hell with the pike. Here we go, on cue, Deserved, watching over his team as we see him applying a bit of pressure here to Pulsar, who are carrying that box. If he can hit one more shot onto Lasky, he might be able to pin down this light early on, but the movement's just a little bit too wily for him. Oh no. Oh dear. A bit of a mistake there as a Telco pulled off
he got lock bolted!
It was a lock bolt that did that. No way!
He got lock bolted!
I was like, why is he there? And it was the freaking slingshot.
I realized, I was like, yeah, that looked like some weird, like, maybe a bug, but no, he got lock bolted to the side. How insane is Pulsar is just sent to the void. And we see it right now as well. I mean, this is a beautiful fight from Vatican, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't really care about this fight. NDA versus Pulsar is going crazy over on the other side by the Cyber Cafe.
Yeah, and these are the teams that are really the big hitters right now, it feels like. As Telco finds that entry kill onto Deserved, and that will open up the opportunity to go for a steal. I don't think they can find any way of removing this. They've lost that DMAT, of course, with the medium going down. Clearing out that goon, now they have a point of retreat. We see NDA, they're falling back. They know they got to get, or rather Pulsar falling back. They know they got to get their team up and running. I'm getting my teams confused. Pulsar are defending now. NDA fighting for first place if they can flip this box.
Absolutely. It's going to be Pulsar here versus Team Lockbolt. Team Lockbolt drops in NDA. They are already trying to maneuver. As soon as they get onto the same floor that Pulsar is holding for, Pulsar drops down one more. And Telco holding down to those D-mats to make sure that he's going to be able to play for full stall. They have that stall potential, and there it is. The first drop going to happen thanks to a bit of heavy util. But now they are trying to figure out if NDA is following or stabilizing. They stabilize on the second floor here. Pulsar putting a little bit of distance, a little bit of util in between them and the other team. They know that if they could just keep this fight slightly away from the cash out, that they're going to remove at least one player's pressure from the fight. But they have to worry about another team is always hungry. They want a slice of this as well. They're going to be jumping down. It's just down to Lasky. He's done it before, but can he do it again? With OG still up and available, he's going to be able to take out Lasky, and that's NDA taking control of this. But always hungry is still here too. Yoip, he's going to be able to take the fight, and NDA and Pulsar are both wiped. Vatican's going to come in now as well. They just got their cash out the other side of the map, and if they can come in for the same time. Wait, he got the kill. Wait, they got the steal, and Vatican Esports comes away with the last 2 cash outs.
They took a different cash out before that? Stop the presses. Vatican Esports have woken up, Hardy. I thought they were dead and buried. I was ignoring them the whole game. What did they just do? That fourth party steal at the very end. That I can comprehend. But the fact that they also got the last one before that as well, I wasn't even. Yeah, hats off. They've just proved me completely wrong. I need to pay attention to this team. How they have 8 kills between them. That is just genius objective play. I don't know how they did it.
That is incredible. I mean, oh my gosh. Also, hold on. Stop the presses again. Second time. Yoink with 20 gifted subs right into the prize pool. Yoink. Thank you so much. Yoink and Boink. What a goat. Absolutely insane for the 20 gifteds right there in one of the craziest moments that we've seen in the Pro Hubs. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, right? Where you get a team that has been underperforming, but they find the opportunity to jump in and say, hey, I am actually going to make a difference here. And you know, for for the first 2 sets of cash outs, they weren't able to make an impact in a way that mattered. When it came down to the wire, they just picked up those 2 18Ks. They're like, hey, you know what? If we get this, we can do it. And by the hand of the Holy Spirit, Vatican Esports somehow pulled that out of the archives to make that work.
Yeah, they were blessed. That was something else, and they really needed it as well because they've been having a rough go of things so far today. And yep, that's their first place finished. Of course, we've got one more map in this group, RD, which will be this Horizon. But that really did knock Pulsar and Always Hungry down a peg. I mean, that's the first time that Always Hungry haven't finished second. They finished last in that map, and it really did look like they were doing enough to try and get that final steal. I thought they were going to be the third party that came out on top, but yeah, Vatican Esports had other ideas. So that is the finals right there, and it's crazy to see. I can't wait for this final map. This Horizon feels like a very, very different map than pretty much everything we've played so far. I'm looking forward to seeing basically every single medium running Pike. Because it feels like this is the map for it now that it's really comfortably in the meta. But I don't know. There could be some mix up. We can wait and see. A lot of teams, specifically NDA, I feel like they've really got that comp with the Pike nailed down in terms of just juggling it around and playing around the two sort of heavy light as a little unit with the Pike as an off angle. It's really satisfying to watch some of that gameplay now.
Exactly, and that's the thing is that like on day one, that's all we were seeing on every single map. But now, like I said, the meta's changing in scrims every single day, and so people are realizing certain maps still deserve certain playstyles. But exactly as you said here on Sis Horizon, I am anticipating a ton of Pike gameplay. I'm expecting 4 Pikes in the lobby, and I just genuinely believe that if Vatican can actually jump in here, get an early, fresh start on the first set of cash outs, they could probably make a really good impact to their scoreline here. I mean, again, all these teams, when they see that Pulsar Esports is in the lobby, it changes your mental going into it. When you say, okay, in my group, I got to deal with Pulsar, you're going to be playing the game differently. We're going to be seeing a ton of different third parties. We have been all day. But now, when you see plays like that coming to fruition, for a team like Vatican, for a team like NDA, they are going to be a lot more confident in their movements. And right now, we're already seeing Always Hungry. They know that they need to step up here. Alasky, well, he's going to land a couple 9-3R shots. Other side of the bat, Norton going to be doing the same thing. And already the chaos begins, Jerry.
That it does. And Lasky proving his worth on Pulsar Esports. I'm always, I'm really keen to see the growth of this roster because it was very impressive last season seeing Telco's team kind of run the gauntlet, and now they've just backed it up with someone who we've known for a very long time is like one of the most talented lights in the scene, and he maybe stole the spotlight a little bit for his previous team, and now he's really in a position where he can shine properly. And it's exciting to watch. Just look at this. As I'm glazing him, he finds a kill onto Yoip. Telco finding the back of Jurgen as well, leaving Rampage the last alive, the medium, and very far away from the totems on his team. So he's just going to fall back and let them coin. The steal is going to be successful unless he decides to dive. I don't think he will. He's going to commit to trying to find his teammates and go for a retake instead. But look at the positioning of these objectives right now, RD. They are in the same building.
This is actually insane. I mean, yeah, just 90 meters away from one another. You know that we're about to be in third party, fourth party central, and already it is going to be a bit of a bloodbath in here. Irrelezi back to the V9S, and for now, OG being taken away actually is going to reduce a lot of potential that NDA has. I mean, obviously, OG being a star player, they are playing around that heavy very, very particularly. Over here, though, we're still be looking at Always Hungry versus
Nice.
Pulsar. Pulsar play from the top. Again, that stall potential. Lasky with a really good angle, but you're not going to be able to do much against that angle unless you get Persian to drop down. But it's going to cost him a life in the form of a Telco going away.
Wow.
Pulsar gets chipped out here at positioning. Not able to overcome from a few well-placed barricades and good winches.
That was incredible play from Jurgen. Not only did he set up that play with the winch and the barricade, he knew that the counter was to be above with the DMAT. That is exactly what Pulsar went for. He read it. He headed up those stairs and took Atelco from behind, immediately destroying him and his teammate. He let the steal fail, because he knew that he could swing that fight and make it 2 versus 1. Comes down, collects the kills, gets the flip. Great cash out coming out from Always Hungry. As we see on the other side, NDA look like they're going to be fairly successful in their defense, having pulled that box all the way out. It was my mistake. That wasn't in the same building. It was in a different building, and they pulled it out into the alleyway to make a very nice offensive position. Seems to have worked for them. NDA now out in front in second place.
I mean, obviously, you know, cash out manipulation, that's the name of the game. But even if it wasn't in the same building, it's close enough to where you still have to have that stress, that third party. And like I said, everything changes how you play around certain fights. And, you know, the distance between cash outs is one of those things. So it's a good call anyway. Vatican going to be set up to try to steal this vault. Looks like they do want to get their own gateway placed here. If they can glitch out Norton's. Let's see what's going to happen now. Dropping down right for the back. OG with a big opening. Going to be removing OO. Not able to get opening damage with that RPG like they planned. Irelesi, a V9S is all that stands in the way. He does manage to find one, but the spike is going to come through and finish that off. NDA retains control of the vault. But can they get it plugged into a cash out in a place that works out for them? We see Always Hungry now versus Pulsar over to the sidelines here. Back again, we're in the museum, looking to see cash out C at the very top, just down to Rampage, 1 HP! Oh, that 9-3R has a lot of bullets left to find it out. Pulsar takes control over here in the museum.
Yeah, it's a reliable option right now, the 93R. You can see it's just good at most ranges. Typically, you know, you don't want to be taking huge distance fights, you know, really, really long range ones, but it's just got enough in the mag that it's so solid, so dependable. And that's why it's really found its way into the meta right now. Just the best of all the possible options. Out goes a glitch grenade to get rid of that gateway. And that's a smart move to initiate from Irelesi. But they do have to hunt down NDA. They found one. And the Vultures can begin circling. Out comes the winch, but he falls off. That might be a missed opportunity here. But he comes back up, deserved, taking out Irelesi. We can see the kills starting to flow for OG and the gang. NDA. They end the day of Vatican Esports as they're really struggling right now. Only 2K to their
Always
name.
Hungry. Always Hungry's here. They're about to jump in. The third party. They're a little bit late to the third party, but I think they're going to be able to make an impact here. Oh, they have no idea. NDA is playing just underneath them. They're looking desperately. Where in the workspace are they? It dropped down. He doesn't even check the windows. He would have seen NDA through the side. Put up a barricade, throw the gas away, start the steal. NDA about to clap in. Yoip goes down. Already down to Member. Always Hungry. Gonna have to stabilize here to 2-on-3, but it's not gonna work out. Rampage, the last alive. Maybe he can find the opportunity to res Yoip's trophy, but they're on the hunt. NDA needs to find where he is. The res stuck through.
Yeah.
No idea what's happening there, but over on the other side, over by campus, it's Vatican versus Pulsar.
I don't think Rampage is going to find his way back into that one. It feels as though NDA has defended that excellently. A steal coming out here as Vatican trying something, but there is the winch to deny it at the last moment, and I don't think they have time to go for another. Somehow, we see Perzon come out with a kill after that. I think this is too late from Irelesi. He's going to try it anyway, but no, the money goes the way of Pulsar as they claw their way back into second place. NDO, though, way out in front after 2 successful cash outs in the first 2 waves. We head on to our final vaults with plenty of time. We should expect to see all of these, or both of these, rather, all the way to the end of the game.
Wild stuff here. We're looking to see NDA once again starting off in that first place position. And even though that lock bolt hits, the SH1900, the movement from Yoip, actually manages to overcome. Looks like they've learned how to play around OG. Is Vault 5 about to get opened up here? It is close enough to the next cash out to make it work. NDA, though, they're just going to wait for OG to coin back in. He's got one more. That's what it's useful for. We see Lasky also looking to see where he can get involved. The vault opened up here. Cash out A plugged by Vatican Esports. Pulsar looking to see which vault they want to fight. Well, now, hey, now these cash outs are truly in the same building. I believe both of these are in the workspace right now.
Wow.
No. B is in campus. Never mind.
So it is. And that that gateway works perfectly there to send the vault all the way. Itelco taking Yoip out of midair. Nice bit of clay pigeon suiting from him. Itelco, though, very low HP himself, has that angled jump pad to get himself out of dodge, has the goo as well for protection, but he can finally regroup with his team. A bit of a panic situation there as they push towards cash out B. to defend it for themselves and reassert their dominance. NDA really want to steal this and upset the apple cart, maybe find that second win to close the gap on Pulsar. At the moment, Vatican defending cash out A as well, but that is going to come under pressure from NDA. Vatican are quite far afield, but of course they have that DMAT to cause an opening. That pressure now crushing down upon them. The dome shields come out. A trade of utility, a trade of blows.
Always
a lot
hungry.
of health lost on the side. Always hungry coming in as the third party though, Artie.
Look at that. Jurgen and Yoip taking out Vatican for NDA here. Now the Vatican's gonna roof the equation. It's up to NDA to finish off. Always hungry. Jurgen gonna go down already. The fight here. Rampage on 1 HP, but the 9-3R is hungry, and it's gonna find one. But Yoip, SH 1900, it's gonna collect two. It's just down to OG and Yoip, but OG withstands and overcomes. He's gonna have just enough time to rest his team up. But Vatican, they're at the end of their timer. They're about to get that team respawn. They spawn closer to campus though, and they're about to live on in some pressure towards Pulsar as they start to make their way over. NDA will stabilize on cash out A. For now, we're looking to see Vatican make a big entrance here.
Oh, I think are Pulsar making a play for cash out A because they know that they're rivals at NDA. They don't mind too much being stolen here. Nope, they are sitting around. Excuse me. Final few seconds here. 31 or so of them. As we see now, Irrelisi and the rest of Vatican try to close the gap around cash out B. This is Pulsars. They need to hold on to this for a clean second place. Telco finds his opposite number. The medium dealt with. And now the rest of the team just scrambling. Lasky finds one as well. Double O takes out a Telco though, and it's a 2 versus 1. Income always hungry to play spoiler. They want to take that second place away from Pulsar. They're going to get it. 1.5 seconds still. Jurgen with 3 kills at the end. Make it 4. Norton goes up in coins. And what a steal at the death from Always Hungry, securing a second place.
That is insanity. That is exactly what Always Hungry needed. Some sort of game-changing play to put them at least in the running. I mean, but NDA, another first place win from them here. This is going to be a competitive leaderboard coming out of this group phase. This has been the most insane matchup that I've ever seen for a Group A, where we've gotten Pulsar multiple maps, not a first place finish. I think multiple maps with a third place finish now. And that's going to be detrimental. I mean, remember here in season 1, the scoring is so different. 100 points for the first place, 60 for second place. And that gap, I believe, has been crossed. I think NDA has done everything they need to do this time around to overcome their shortcomings that they had in on Wednesday.
Yeah, and also importantly, Always Hungry really settling on that second place finish. They only finished 4th in the Zomi. Every single other map they finished 2nd, so will have gathered quite a lot themselves. There's going to be some real interesting stuff. I think, Artie, you've noticed something. What's happened
Another
there?
20 gifted from Yoink and Boink.
What?
Yoink and Boink. Absolutely incredible stuff. Just as a reminder, the Pro Hubs is a fully community-driven esports tournament series, and every single bit of subs and bits goes straight into that prize pool. And we are so thankful for members of the community like Yoink and Boink for just dropping an insane amount of subs after some insane games like this. If you guys also want to support the prize pool, where everything goes into the players here to pay them out at the end of the season, you can type !donate in the chat. I'll bring up a link to donate directly to the prize pool. But a huge shout out to Yoink and Boink as well for the subs. A huge shout out. So much love here. That's 41 in total here, just to make sure that Yoink and Boink remains at the top of the leaderboard. We'd love to see that. But yeah, guys, for Group A, I am so excited to see the points here because Pulsar, they ended Wednesday far in the top. I don't believe that they have retained that position depending on NDA's overall standings.
No, I've got an advanced view of the points, and I can tell you it has turned. Interestingly, it's actually incredibly tight between those two teams at the top. NDA came out with 379 points, 2 ahead of Pulsar on 377 after today's game. So exceptional showing from the the squad of
Wow.
NDA, putting themselves up in front. Always Hungry, not far behind. Those consistent second places have garnered them a lot of points, 321 in total. And then in a kind of clear fourth place, unfortunately, we did say this was a stacked group. They started the day in 7th seed, but Vatican Esports finish in this group 4th, way behind the pack with 220. So yeah, really interesting games and really interesting point spread. But yeah, Artie, what do you have to say about all that?
That would have been a much higher differential if Vatican didn't have that one good map where they got the last 2 cash outs, right? Vatican finished 1 game in first place. And honestly, yeah, 220 points, that is like a big deficit, but still, that still makes you competitive, right? And that's what we love about this format, is that as long as you're still able to show that you deserve your place here, you get first at least a couple times throughout the season, you're gonna stay competitive. But look at the overall standings. Pulsar is still well ahead of NDA, even with all those scores combined. So, chat, we still have a bunch of incredible games coming for you here, and we'll be able to show you that full final scoreline here coming back. But don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back after this break.
Running round in circles, jumping over hurdles. You know I loved you, let's face the facts. Taking love for granted, really wish we hadn't. Hesitate to out, did we lose track? All these feelings, I left it bleeding. You And we just go back, take it back. With the ceiling, now you're leaving. How did we end up like that? 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 I can hear you hurting, trying to put the work in. Turn a blind eye, step over cracks. That's the risk we taking. Love can be mistaken, but a fight hope it doesn't last. With all these feelings, I left it bleeding, and we just go back, take it back. With the ceiling, now you're leaving. How do we end up like that? How do we end up like that? How do we end up like that? How do we end up like that?
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pro League Season 1, Day 2. My name is Artie. I'm joined by Jerry. And not only, Jerry, is the competition getting tighter, but my shirt's getting tighter, too. Got some ice back there to keep the heat off, because these teams, they're bringing the heat.
Yeah, I can understand it. I've just spent about 5 minutes with my aircon on full blast to reduce the temperature by a few degrees, but it's going to get hot in here very quickly, very soon, both figuratively and literally. So if I start sweating, that's exactly what it is. We're a heat wave here in London right now, and I'm pretty sure Hawaii is probably a hell of a lot worse most of the time. I shouldn't complain.
It's hot here. I mean, it's 8 a.m. It's already closing in on the height of the day, but also my building, the AC went out like 4 days ago. We have central air, and there was a little power outage. It's a whole story. I'm on day 4 of no AC, and the shirtless streams have been going fantastic. But I keep one on for the broadcast because we got to keep it classy for the boys. Speaking of keeping it classy for the boys, let's look at the teams that are keeping it classy here in Group B. We're going to be seeing Makeshift come out of the gates here up against the GOATs, the Gamblers, and 200 Books. And we're looking back at last week, what we saw, where we had GOATs and 200 Books also in the same group last week. There was quite the bit of contention. A lot of people not expecting the performance of Manda to actually be able to keep up with the likes of Carnifex, Palma, and Treason. But over here, now that we've got Sugi, Velo, and Alone in Paris here in the mix too, honestly, I think the GOATs are going to be having a tough time.
That they might, but they are the top seed from this group after the first Playday as well. 3rd overall in the standings, and of course, looking to climb. Considering that we just saw the points fairly evenly split between Pulsar and NDA, they may have a decent shot at taking that top spot once the day is out. But of course, we have to see what happens first. And right on cue, we head on into Monaco. So here we go. I love the drip on Makeshift, by the way. I love the matching sushi chef vibes. It's very pretty. Very identifiable in orange as they come head-to-head with 200 Books. A great team name as well.
Oh, beautiful stuff here. 200 Books. If we deal some open games on a Makeshift, they can't follow up with Velo, making his way downtown away from all of that damage. Now collapsed in with Sugi and Alone in Paris. We're going to be seeing a lot of little fun motions as 200 Books. I know they can't control the vault, but they can control the cash out over here on Monaco as they make their way over to, well, stay in a bit of a defensive position.
Yeah, this is smart, knowing that it's difficult to contest them on the roofs, deciding to head on into the buildings. Unfortunately, though, Manda having a little bit of trouble mounting that and getting up through. Sorry, that's not Manda, that is the other heavy. So here we go, Krieger Blue trying to find some kills, taking a bit of damage here. Manda and Strike both having to fall back and wait for that regen to hit, but they are very close to death if they don't know it. Through that doorway comes most of Makeshift, but nope, they head back. It's a real kind of push and pull, but speaking of pull, there's the pull from Velo as he pulls in Krieger Blue, takes down his opposite number. Strike, though, with 2. As he's taken down by Sugi, the res is coming through, though. Makeshift just about hold on. Manda with a huge RPG turns the tide. It's 1 versus 1. He has the lower hand, though, unfortunately. Only 1 bar of health. Both of them decide to bail. Velo senses blood in the water, but Manda, around his own dome shield, finds that kill, is able to stick the res. And that's already half the time elapsed on 200 Books' first cash out.
Absolutely insane stuff. 200 Books. They just find the time to make that work, and with 3 picks, they make it fall in. Speaking of 3, we got Oin7 with 3 gifted subs here to the channel. Thank you so much for supporting these players. And let's go ahead and check in now all the way over the other side of Monaco by Grandma's house. We do see Gamblers trying to lock in to see where they can take some presence away from the GOATs. The GOATs are holding on high ground with that cash out all the way in the middle of nowhere. It's going to take a couple of motions here. There's the first of probably multiple winches that are going to be needed to secure this cash. The GOATs, they're not budging. They know they still have a good sight line. Fallen actually going to try to hold the steal now. See if he can make it work.
Yeah, it's decent hard cover behind that wall, and it looks like he may stick it. No, he falls off to try and take the fight as they fall back. Kiriki guiding him through, but they hit a mine, and that's taken chunks out of Gamblers. But the kills come through. Treason finds one after Resin Khan effects, and Kiriki falling back. He's in a bit of a rough situation here. 2 versus 2 as Palmer is down for the count, but he is able to coin back in fairly shortly. That timer working in the favor of the GOATs here. Only one chance really for the Gamblers to try and make this work. That's a huge glitch. But is it
but the
enough?
H+!
They're feeding the heals. The infuser does the work. Incredible stuff there from Kiriki. Or rather, Devil's work off screen. Feeding Furley and all he needed to stick that steal. What a flip.
Wow, that's what we love about Season 7. I mean, the H+ Infuser has just shifted everything on its head. With heals like that now being possible, that's going to allow some incredible stuff. The GOAT's definitely reeling after that one. Sugi also reeling after getting one bursted by Strike. Absolutely amazing stuff. Now as Makeshift 200 Books are about to fight in over here, see if they can control this vault. It is quite close to the cash out here by the Cliffside Park. See if 200 Books is going to be able to be the ones to get the plug. They are about to get that plug in. Also, another shout out, huge. We got 3 more gifteds in the chat for Low Standard. Thank you so much. I'm loving keeping up with all this here. But right now, we've got Makeshift. Sugi is back in the fight. Let's see if he's going to be able to bring the pressure onto 200 Books as they slowly make their way back up to height. Try to hold this from over the roadside.
It's a great position for Sugi. He's got control of the entire fight, but maybe a bit too much of a target on his head there as he falls down. Does find the res onto Velo, and now the whole of Makeshift at full strength as they take the fight, but a great trade there coming out. As down go a few bodies on the side of Makeshift. Alone in Paris, the last alive. He's encased in goo, but they're chasing him down. Surely his day's a number. Krieger Blue closing that distance, but no, he does manage to get away. The Wily Light with just enough in the gas, in the tank rather, to keep him going. Unfortunately, not really a great move for Makeshift. They don't make headway anywhere, objective-wise, kills-wise. Doesn't work out for them as the cash out still firmly in the hands of 200 Books and the GOATs.
I mean, hey, if you're reading 200 books, this strategy is somewhere in one of them for sure. Makeshift, though, you're gonna have to try to come up with a makeshift plan to get ahead of the action. Looks like they want to try to pinch 2 from the front, 1 from the sides. They know that they need to pull this fight away from those buildings. Looking to see now, Makeshift. They are going to be pulling a lot of damage. Look at those shots, how clean that was alone in Paris. But 200 Books, they're falling fully off the point here. They do know that they have the salt potential. Even if it gets stolen, they've got the time to collapse in and make this work out. But the angle is still there, not dealt with. Lone in Paris going to be able to do some early damage on a strike, playing right into their plans. Krieger and Manda find a couple of their own here. The steal does come through, but it's now just up to Lone in Paris, who's nowhere near in the spot to make this work. A fight. It's gone both ways. Lone in Paris just low HP. Krieger Blue is going to be able to escape from the top, but the health bar resets for Lone in Paris. Wait, he's going to be able to get the res?
Cheeky.
Oh, no, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Krieger Blue smells the opportunity there. Knows something's up after facing absolutely no pressure from below. That really was a last gasp effort. But over on Cash Out D, we see the GOATs defending their name, defending their title. They're doing quite a good job of it as well. Palmer has been taken out, but they've spent enough time, they've burnt enough of that timer down to guarantee themselves their second Cash Out, I believe, or maybe only their first. Either way, that will close the gap, put them in second place. Palmer just waiting for the opportune moment, really. I think he doesn't want to spend this last coin. He's just waiting for his team to try and coalesce on him. I mean, the final wave of cash outs is going to start.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, we're on the final wave of cash outs here, and Makeshift they've had a lot of impact, but this is not the performance that we would expect from Velo, Sugi, and Alone in Paris. They need to sort of lock in here for these last ones. Still a chance if they can get the plug and they can get this. So they're really fighting on this vault, but already it's a triple stack here. 200 books and Gamblers fighting on this too. Volley gonna be able to pick up one on Manda here. The Pike not able to make those shots connect through all the dematted walls here. And currently 200 books, that strike's gonna go down. Krieger on just 25 HP. He's got a dream. Will he be able to come through with it? Gamblers, Fallen's gonna get his health all the way back. Thanks to some light heals from Devil's Work. Devil's Work also gonna be able to pick up one onto Alone in Paris, who will get quickly rezzed up by Sugi. Currently trying to figure out how they get back on the point here. Krieger stabilizes, letting the Manda and Strike coin back in here, but on the fights, Fallen gonna go down, trading in with Palma. Gamblers fully out of the game now. The GOATs also trying to figure out if they can jump in on this third party at the right time. Manda gonna be the one to pick up Sugi's trees and finds one on the other side of the map. It's gonna be Manda going down here too from Velo. Everybody is fighting here on Cash Out A right now. It is chaos as GOATs manage to collapse in and make this work. The goo is just enough. Velo can't find the opportunity to get down. GOATs are going to come away with this cash out here. Vault 6 has been opened up by 200 books who just said, hey, this fight's not for us. We're leaving it.
fourth party working out really nice for the team in purple there, as Goats were just the most patient team in the lobby. There is still a lot of time to have to defend Cash Out 8, and this doesn't necessarily secure them first place either, with 200 books way out in front. And there is another vault in play as well. We'll have to see where that ends up. Some shots coming out here. There's a bit of a skirmish, of course. Palmer doesn't want to die in this situation. Does manage to fight his way out quite admirably there, but Alone in Paris closing him down, taking him out. Treason gets the res, though, onto his heavy and finds a kill for his money as well. Carnifex taken down. We're in a 2 versus 1 here to make that 2 versus none as Makeshift taken out for the count. They haven't been anonymous in this game, but things just aren't going their way.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing when it comes down to the new playstyle, right? I mean, I do see the opportunity. Obviously, Alone in Paris is making the ARN look good, but it's just not going to be enough, not enough damage output to actually finish these fights in time. We do.
How close the cash is, by the way.
It's so close. The Goats, actually, if I'm doing the math in my head right, which I'm usually not, they should come out in front here. But the Gamblers, hot on their tail, not even going to be contesting for second place.
Ooh, they are 3 kills ahead of 200 books now, so everything could change in the final 60 seconds. And of course, that final cash out would guarantee first place for anyone in the top 2 that manages to flip it. So expect a lot of business around B. Unfortunately, right now for Makeshift, I think the best they can hope for is a measly 3rd place, but they are going to send it anyway. We're watching the Goats right now. They are currently defending their first place spot. They will be playing right now for Gamblers, because I don't think Gamblers overtake them in this situation. They're essentially an extra team defending for Pink right here, just playing Overwatch, taking shots. They find 200 books at range, and that is a great kill coming out for Strike. A steal coming out here as Makeshift trying to make some problems here, but the great collapse there from several teams at once puts them out of action, and that is a wipe against them. Gamblers are not dead yet. They will hold on to this cash out, but the real beneficiaries are, of course, the Goats, who take away that first place finish, and 200 books in second.
Wow, I mean, even 200 books, they definitely were hoping that they could just keep everything the way that it was. The difference in points is so great, especially given the fact that we've got 100 points for that first place team here for Goats, 60 points for 200 books, but I mean, again, this is map 1. Everything can change moving forward, but I think these teams are now warmed up. They know what to expect from the Goats themselves, as well as, again, 200 books coming in from the qualifiers. I mean, Gamblers and Makeshift, these are teams that are well known, but even then, sometimes you can have those matches where you do everything right and it still runs away from you. 40,000 for the top 3 teams, but still Gamblers falling slightly short, 1,500 short. Be clear.
Yeah, and only 2,000 separating first and second as well. So kills really did come into it there. Very evenly split across the top 3 in terms of cash gained and like objective play. So expect this to be a very tight group. Makeshift, I wouldn't, I'd say that 7,500 really doesn't do justice to how good a team they are. They are going to have better performances today, I can guarantee it. But what's interesting to me is that going into this game, we had a group that was pretty spread out across the rankings. Goats in 3rd, 200 books in 6th, Gamblers in 8th, Makeshift near the bottom in 11th. That is exactly how the final standings played out in Monaco. So we have set a trend here, Ardy, and it is there to be upset. As we all know, rules can be rewritten, and some of them are just there to be broken.
Some of them are just there to be broken for sure. And I mean, moving into, everything that comes next, you got to ask, what is the adaptation? Right, for Gamblers and for Makeshift, where you've had this play that's worked really well on day 1. That for 200 books, though, coming in from the qualifiers, they have been a team that you have to not just forget about. And I think that could be the sort of makeup that's happening here, where Gamblers and Makeshift, every time they've kind of come in, I think they're underestimating what Manda can do, what Strike can do, what Krieger Blue can do. And so when it comes down to figuring out the play style, when we're in this new meta here of Season 7, you got to figure out, is it worth it to go for the angle, punish the player that's playing off first? You have to focus that core fight. And on a map like Monaco, it can be a little bit difficult to figure that out, because Monaco is such a perfect blend of those tight quarter spaces, those long sight lines. You don't know whether or not you want to expose yourself to the pike or, submit yourself to the SA-12-16. So going into our next map, Jerry, what do you think the adaptations are? What do you think the adaptations are that are going to be needed here at this Horizon?
I'm not too sure. I feel as though it's just a bit more of the. I'm going to counter that and say I don't expect there to be many adaptations. I feel like every team played their game quite well, and they're not going to change what their plans are off the back of one very, very close map. You know, that was anyone's game, really. The only team I'd expect to change anything off as a reaction to that would be Makeshift, but like I said, I don't think that their final standing and their final cash tally did justice to their performance there. So I would expect to see a lot of the same. We are seeing some change immediately off the bat. We are seeing the ARN, so I'm proven wrong. But Carney is known to be, you know, flexible. The Goats is a team. Honestly, I look at this team and I'm just thinking, what a terrifying stack. Carney, Palmer, Treason is, you know, if you were to assemble a dream team, it wouldn't be far off this. So I can expect that they will only improve in terms of synergy over the course of the season.
100%. We already see that gateway getting set up. Goats really wants to go and steal this 200 books. They're already flying away here. Manda almost gets one clipped there. Going to be seeing a big set of damage coming through as it finally gets finished up there. Thanks to Treason. Picks up Krieger, but wait, what's this? There it is. Manda's finally out. Look to see if Strike can submit. Yeah, he's going to go down here. Also, I forgot to mention this. Huge shout out, Zelda TV. Thank you for the Prime sub in the last map on Monaco. We're going to be jumping over now back into the art gallery to see this fight happening on B, where Makeshift has somewhat tried to make this work. Sugi with the model picks up one, but it's Gamblers that come out on top.
Wow. Props to Berea right now on the observing, catching basically all the action. He chose the right guy. He bet on Carnifex, getting 3 kills at the start, and then tuned right on into cash out B as we saw Gamblers do their work. Devil's work doing that as well. Awful pun. Not even a pun. I just saw the word work and was like, hey, I just said the word work. Let's say it again. Great job, Caster. Either way, let's tune back in here as we have now some pressure coming. The cash dropped fairly far as we see Krieger Blue looking to deny the denial in advance. It goes down the final floor, and now Gamblers can collapse from above.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. If you don't have the APS, you can't deal with anything. All that util that's on the cash out's not going to get dealt with, so that extra drop still buys a little bit more time, but 200 bucks, they're going to walk away with this steal. Gamblers, though, they are getting third party right now as Makeshift is currently coming in for this fight. Looks like a little bit of chaos right now as well. 200 bucks hot on the tail of Gamblers. You're trying to stabilize somewhere near the point. Makeshift, though, they're going to be the main ones dealing the pressure right now. Both Makeshift and Gamblers fighting out. 200 bucks, though, they just have their cash out. They're just chilling here. They're out here in the art gallery looking at some fine pieces, but for now, they're trying to see if they can piece out the rest of the Gamblers there. Devil's work to go down thanks to Strike here, but the last player fallen. He has fallen now as both Makeshift 200 books. They just put out the work. Strike dealing the damage to that 9-3R.
Yeah, well, I mean, collecting the kills, let's say that Krieger Blue was also dealing a lot of damage there as they worked as a nice little duo. Just so effective. And yeah, excellent positioning, excellent reading of the game from 200 books. They saw that there was a fight going on between two opposing sides and that neither really had a good enough position to try and get the counter steal. So excellent play, and that has put them nicely ahead of the pack. The Goats, of course, having a bit of a quieter time on the other side of things, collecting their first kills. We see some skirmishes over this final, or this second vault, rather. Krieger Blue finding that kill as well. I'm actually quite curious to see the flash of the scoreboard here and just see how well 200 books are doing in the frag department.
Oh,
it's not that amazing, but it's definitely way out in front of the rest.
Right? I mean, for the first set of cash outs, this is already some incredible performance. And if we're looking to see what these teams are doing right, I mean, I gotta say, when it comes down to like figuring out what weapons are needed to be competitive, I'm really liking just all this chunk damage, right? You got the Pike or the model, 9-3R. You can't heal through it if they're already dead. And like that, Strike gonna go down. No more 9-3R for the side of 200 books. It's gonna allow Gamblers the opportunity to come through and maybe finish this steal. The Glitch gonna take away the dome here, but the damage has already been dealt to Fallen. We're gonna be seeing Koreki try to follow in, figure out where Manda's playing from. The Strike comes back from the grave there. Krieger, Blue, Manda, and Strike, they're all ready possibly to jump up here. They could come from the outside, but we'll drop it once. Try to start this steal here. 200 books, they're positioned right underneath. A fake steal will move 200 books in position to try to figure out what this looks like from Gamblers. But Gamblers, they're set up to come around the corner.
They've got layers of gas mines, one on the ceiling, one on the floor below Cash Out C, so ready to deal with whatever comes their way. On the other side, we've got Carnifex finding an entry kill onto Velo, so expect the Goats to try and snowball that into a steal, but we'll keep our eyes on 200 books here as they try to defend their Cash Out. Doing a decent job of it so far, but that pressure is strong as Kiriki and Devil's Work find kills. Folin collecting his as well. That's a quick wipe onto 200 books, and now it should be an easy flip here for the Goats as they secure that Cash Out for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, the Goats just come in the right time every time. We see Makeshift now also trying to deal with them, but currently it's difficult to try to...
the Goats. I meant Gamblers.
It's the Gamblers, yeah.
Style. Yeah, that's
it's
fine.
fine.
But yeah.
It's a G team, you know. They're all Goats at the end of the day, all these teams.
True. Good excuse. Thank you for bailing me out of that one.
I got you. Speaking of the Goats, though, look at this as Carnifex. He's so slippery, hard to follow in on. They're really not able to figure out. What is that? Why are we here?
Treason? That is treason. Go to jail.
I love this. I love this. Just, hey, you know what? We'll make our own platform in the sky with goo and barricades. And for Makeshift... Makeshift just got dealt with on a makeshift barricade. Like, what is that?
We're ruining Treason's clip with amazing puns, Ardy. That is horrific. What do you do about that? What do you do about someone
you
just
lose?
Playing Fortnite, right? That's what he's doing.
That's what we love. That's what the sandbox is for. Embark built us a sandbox to play around, and the Goats have utilized every single piece of it, even the verticality that nobody thought about. We're gonna see now the last set of Cash Outs coming to play. Looking over at the cash, we got Goats up in front with 30K. We got Gamblers up in second, 22K. Hot on their tails, 200 books, just 3K back. Makeshift once again finding themselves in last place. They really need to do something about this. And hey, we go back to Group A. Vatican made it work, where Vatican had a standout. They got both of the final Cash Outs. And I think for now, Makeshift needs to make sure that this is staggered enough that they have the chance to fight for both. Because there is a world where it doubles here. I don't think this is the match where it's going to double. So we see Palma bringing it here. Goat's going to be trying to get this plug here. The plug comes through. There is just enough time to maybe make this work out, but as Makeshift loses Sugi early on in the battle, they have to try to find one, but Carnifex pieces out alone in Paris, and Velo, oh, he's not having a good day.
Dome shields are temporary, barricades are forever. That is beautiful play from Palmer to turn that fight on its head, and Makeshift, despite playing defense on that point, cannot defend it from the plug and the collapse of Goats. Excellent play. Turn our attention to Cash Out B, 200 books defending. They are fully set up and ready for the Gamblers here. Gamblers need to get an idea on what the setup is before they commit. This is a very cheeky position as well. Just hiding around a corner. They weren't playing above, weren't below or anything. Krieger Blue collecting 2 kills, but everyone having a hand in that. Manda with the final kill. They make it look easy. 200 books already halfway to a second place finish.
But this is looking just like Monaco, where the Goats are just going to be solid up the top here. Nobody even wants to head towards campus to try to even fight on that. We see Makeshift collapsing in now to where 200 books are. And up here in the library, we could possibly get a third party depending on where Gamblers spawn in. Gamblers definitely going to be spawning in close to campus, but they have more than enough time to try to make it over here. See what can happen now. The gas going to be providing a lot of stall potential. Gamblers are going to be trying to contest up with the Goats on the other side of the map. But for now, Makeshift, they're looking for their way in, and they are not finding it. 200 books. They're going to be opening now, and already Strike and Manda going to go out. This is looking good for Velo. Huge opportunities right now for Makeshift. The stall comes in, just enough gas at just the right time, thanks to Krieger Blue. That is going to be preventing Makeshift from being able to get that steal. Heartbreaking, to say the least. That Cash Out's going to finish out. Cash Out A on campus, though. This is still being held and retained by the Goats. They deal with Devil's Work. Fallen going to be at half HP at the moment. Koreki as well. All of this damage. Carnifex is taken out, but with Palma and Treason still up, you still have the winch for that stall potential. We could see the winch onto the Gigapad. That actually could be massive, but they don't even need to do it. Timer ticks down, and that's going to be the end of the game as the Goats finish in first place. 200 books in second. Makeshift barely above water.
Yeah, and we forgave them first round, but you do not want that to become a trend. Either way, though, I want to give credit to the Goats and 200 books in that game. we didn't really have to raise our voices very often. I'm noticing, Ardy. That was a very controlled and steady ship that both these teams were exerting throughout the whole of that game. At the very end, maybe a little bit of a scare for 200 books, but they played that objective so perfectly. They knew that they just had to kite and buy time. They made sure that they took 1v1s. They kept Krieger Blue alive to be able to detonate that gas at the last moment, and they barely dealt damage. I don't know if you got a look in at Makeshift there in that final fight, but they were full HP when they came to that final steal, and it didn't matter because they just had to get on that box sooner, and they couldn't.
Yeah, it didn't matter. And I think that's the thing where, like, for Makeshift, this is the point of the matchup where you got to figure out, okay, we need to make a change, right? And what is that change? Where if it doesn't work on Monaco, it doesn't work on Cis Horizon, those two maps could not be more different. And so something has to give. And so moving forward, I think that they need to figure out, okay, is it the chunk damage that we're not doing? Are we not able to capitalize on this? And the H+ infuser is making a difference in our fights, right? Is it our positioning? Do we need to make sure that our medium is not playing on the angle, and we need to utilize more movement tech to get our core into a spot where we can make it work? I mean, obviously, Velo is highly capable, Sugi, highly capable players in their own right, but if they're not playing as a unit, can they still keep up with the rest of the teams? For Goats, I mean, hey, you got Carnifex and Treason just playing their own game. They're on Fortnite, we're on finals. It doesn't matter. But, I mean, for everyone else, you have to figure out, okay, we're moving into Las Vegas now. Do we double down on the shotguns? Do we keep the model and the SA-1216? Do we put the light on the matter? What do we do? Like, how do we figure this out? And so I want to see Makeshift win a vault fight and retain early control so that they can show us. So they're not just panicking in the background. We do see the medium actually moving to, I believe that was an F car. So possibly going to be seeing Makeshift come through with a more Season 6 approach.
Yeah, and it's obvious that they need to change something up, so just these little tweaks may make a difference. Of course, I believe we were seeing Sugi on the pike before. We didn't get to see much action from Makeshift in general, but there you are, yes, the F car confirmed.
Oh, and the XP54. So a big change up here for Makeshift as they just try to double down and say, hey, let's play ranked. It's going to be fine. The GOAT's going to be up top here, already contesting with Makeshift. I heard a winch. I didn't see a winch. So going to be having a little bit of util left on the floor right now as the GOAT's going to be just trading spots. They jump down to the bottom. Gamblers also going to be close, possibly in contention. I don't see any fights happening, but there we go. The first pick going to be going in favor of Makeshift. Clearly, these changes have done something for their mental. Carnifex Palma going to be trying to figure out if they can get the res on the trees, in which they do. Now recombine. They won the vault fight. This is what I said I wanted to see from Makeshift. So can they stabilize on the point? Because the GOATs is going to make sure that they get in position to pinch them out. No preparation time ready.
Palmer's going in deep as well. He's looking for that pick on someone, but he's going to come across two members of the opposition. He's pinging. He knows where they are. Starts to regroup with his medium. They want to find a good approach here. They do have a lovely view, and look at that move. Winching that cash out all the way over to the other side of the map, virtually. That's going to force some engages there, and Treason picks off Sugi as the Makeshift team peek their heads above the parapet. The steal is being attempted here by Palmer. I think he's going to get away with it, because Makeshift have to regroup.
I mean, the fact that it almost went all the way over to the Engimo Hotel is crazy. Yeah, even with that, though, Makeshift can't hold on. GOATs just, they've set the pace. Say, hey, all the time that you spent, all the 5 seconds you had to prepare, doesn't matter if the cash out's on a different building.
Gamblers on the other side of things have been making mincemeat of 200 books. We'll catch up with that at some point, because this is definitely an interesting point to watch right now. Makeshift have to try and engage on the open. It really is a no man's land, that highway. No one wants to be in it. Palmer is waiting. Well, not Palmer, rather. Who is this waiting at the moment? It is Carney, of course. Just trying to take a long angle here. Alone in Paris dives straight in and drops a gateway on the other side. That is a great move. Cost him half his HP, but he'll regen that in no time. About 40 seconds left here to make some sort of maneuver. He's going to try and winch it indoors as well. But it's still on fire, so they can't go for that push. They have to get some kills, and right now GOATs still have great vertical control. But look at that. Alone in Paris trying to get the pick. He's closing in on someone on that top floor. They try and stick this steal. Sugi forcing the issue here, but the shots come out. Treason loses his 1 versus 1. This is now a 3-on-2, but down goes Sugi. 2 versus 2. Great kills coming out. Carney and Palmer finding theirs. And it's now A clean wipe coming out from the goats. They defend that point. Excellent move. Excellent defense. And it looks like gamblers have done their bit as well. Really struggling right now. 200 books on the other side of things. Strike the only one with a kill.
Yeah, really, really struggling. After a strong opening, I mean, it was only Alone in Paris that managed to find those kills. I mean, the instances, like I said, the makeshift needed to happen. Goats just said, you know what? Cash out manipulation. Name of the game. But we're going to jump down over to the next set of vaults here as vaults 3 and 4 are opened up. Gamblers going to be in control here of the Alpha Active building and trying to make sure 200 books can't make their way in a way that matters. But Glitch is going to be preventing anything. Yoink goes the vault. And let's see where we're going to be able to go. Gas as well to prevent anybody from chasing. Cash out just up on top. It's going to get started here by 200 books. And the fight is as well. Devil's Work goes out early. Fallen Koreki probably not going to be able to get that trophy back. So it's going to be a huge setback here for gamblers. But we've got more than enough time to try to reposition. You see Makeshift as well on the horizon. Making their way over here.
Yeah, 200 books getting a little bit better here. Obviously, they've been suffering at the hands of the gamblers for that first fault, but as soon as we tune into them, they tighten up their act. Just lucky for them, I guess. And yeah, a good steal. Obviously, gamblers want to reset. They've done exactly that. They're 3 up now. But they are playing from beneath. Devil's Work has something in mind. You can see he's juggling that gateway to get some sort of maneuver. He's being very quiet about it as well. Makeshift are very far away, but of course he doesn't know that necessarily. Or rather, 200 books are quite far away.
Oh, yeah.
They're really, really just taking their time about this right now, Artie.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, look at the goats as well. The goats are just all alone. Cash out D for now. They don't know where that hit's going to come from, but it's not going to come at all. Third party central right now as gamblers come back over to C. And it is chaos inside of this hotel as Krieger Blue is going to be able to pick up the first one onto Sugi. Again for Makeshift, it is a setback already. Velo gets pieced away as well by Strike, still utilizing that 9-3R. Oh, but the goats, they're here to grief. The damage coming off the sidelines. Wow, that is actually wild here. Gamblers actually make this work out well.
Huge.
200 books going to be removed from the equation. Their cash out still in their hands, though, through the chaos. Who's going to be the first to get this steal? Might possibly be the gamblers here. They have everything set up, but Makeshift, they have stabilized a little bit, but as Velo goes down again, Sugi questions whether or not he needs to coin. He will end up coining here in the end. Oh no, Alone in Paris got the res. But
yeah, and he's managed to close the gap here. The steal might be happening. Goats have come on in, and they've got the heals from range. Oh, he's forced off the steal, though, and it's denied by gamblers. Now, they have to try and go for the steal under the cover of this goo, but it's Makeshift that are guarding it. This is 200 books cash out, by the way, and it's going to be theirs, despite having been wiped ages ago. All of the kills from opposite parties put 200 books in 3rd place. And I feel like that's anticlimactic, because how is it only 3rd place, Artie?
I mean, look at the gamblers, though. 21K here in the bank. I mean, gamblers, they're still set up here for Vegas, but yeah, that definitely should have been Gambler's steal. This is the second time today that we've seen a steal that, I mean, this time it didn't go through, but, you know, it's kind of crazy. 200 books, they're definitely mad after that last one, trying to get in early on this fight here, but it's Goats that they're rushing up to, and Treason is telling them that was an absolute mistake. Is Palma as well is going to be dumping that damage out the entirety of the SA-1216. We go ahead and take a look at what's happened on the Osboo's building. It's chaos. Gamblers and Makeshift going to be trading out back and forth just down to Fallen and Alone in Paris right now. And Alone in Paris going to be prioritizing a res here. Gamblers going for that early death. Makeshift finally in control of something. For the first time in 3 maps, they're above 10K.
And Alone in Paris is really popping off. Something about that switch to XP has really helped him out. Of course, they were maybe a little unfortunate not to get that first point. Of course, really, really smart play. You don't see it all the time from... that sounds like I was about to insult them. I was about to say, I was trying to... I'll come back to that. Let's just put a pin in that. Either way, we've got Cash Out B, or rather Cash Out A, being held by the Goats, and they are being chased down. We see that they're isolated here. Palmer being spotted, and the shots come out from Krieger Blue, but I don't think they expect this full pinch around them. That dome shield goes down, but they're out in the open. I don't think this is a great position for 200 books. At the moment, the Goats are maybe missing an opportunity here to collapse on them, but this is such a great position to defend. Look how out in the open that Cash Out is.
Oh yeah, they have to jump up here all the way from the top. It's looking like Normandy invasion on D-Day, but wait a second, they make it work! The 9-3R pieces out Palma. Strike looking phenomenally stable right now as Treason goes out as well. Although the res on the Carnifex did hit, Carnifex able to use that time to pick up Palma. Right now,
no,
they're already back in. What's gonna happen? It is still Goats retaining control right now, but as Palma goes down again, that's gonna be a wipe for the Goats. This means 200 books can hold on to this for at least a little bit longer. This is exactly what they needed. On the other side of the map, though, we're going to be seeing Makeshift not only lose the fight, but possibly lose control of the cash. I don't know if it happened or not, but we see the Gamblers jumping in. They didn't get the steal, but they get 2 kills. It's just out of Velo. If he can make it work, he witches it out to try to hold off with the stall, but now he has to drop back in. He's forced to caught this early. Will it work? He finds 2. Wait, but Fallen's going to be able to get the kill. There's more than enough time for a steal there, right? No, there's not. The Makeshift makes the play, and Makeshift takes second, which is quickly going to get overrun by 200 books as cash out here. What is the position? It's going to be 200 books in first, Makeshift in third.
The 7th Vault Spawn, the rare, lesser-sighted 7th Vault Spawn with a few seconds left. But yeah, excellent play from 200 books at the end to turn that round, and Makeshift as well, making a difference. So yeah, finally, the apple cart is upset after 2 games in a row where we've seen first, second, third, and fourth fall exactly where we expect them to. Some great plays at the end there to make the difference. So, there we go.
Alone in Paris, but Fallen.
Fallen has 12 kills and he comes last. Oh, that's
12 kills and a 6,000 combat score. So that's 20 kills for the team that came in last place. That is enough to make up the difference between third and fourth. That is wild.
That's rough. That's very rough. And Makeshift at least push themselves off the bottom but not by much. Third place finish isn't going to get you too many points compared to the fourth. So they are climbing. But yeah, 200 books getting their first place finish of the day. And well deserved. There was some really, really impressive stuff from the side of 200 books. We got to see Strike at the very end just popping off, which is excellent to see. Big fan of the old R6 player, he knows. And yeah, it's finally working for them. I've got to say, yeah, Makeshift are struggling. They're really, really struggling, aren't they? The XP shift did make a difference, but it's not enough, is it? It's just not enough at the moment.
Nah, and it's really hard to watch, especially given the fact that like Sugi and Velo have such a storied history, especially coming back from season 0, looking at what they were able to do. But I mean, a huge shout out for 200 books. I mean, again, this team coming through our open qualifiers now into season 1, and they're going to be able to perform like this in a lobby with Goats and Gamblers, and especially Gamblers on their own map on Vegas, right? And still not being able to come up in a way that matters against 200 books. I mean, crazy stuff. We're going to be moving now to Nozomi, where I think that this could be a good opportunity for Makeshift to put something together here.
Yeah, it's gonna have to happen here, really, because if it happens on 4 maps, then you're struggling in the standings. You're not going to make it off of that bottom, well, that 11th place today, if that's your aim. But as we went into today, we said the Goats had an opportunity to try and steal first place from Pulsar. They've already done better than Pulsar across these first 3 games. Let's see if they can continue that. Of course, not finishing top in that game, so a slight slip from Grace. Let's see if they can make it happen. At the moment, though, we're focusing on Makeshift and 200 books as they close in on each other. Great bit of a glitch grenade there, but unfortunately, it might be a bit too late as Velo already taken out. Manda finds Sugi, and now it's all up to the last player in Alone in Paris. Takes down Strike, but Krieger Blue is there to trade it out. A very quick work made of Makeshift by 200 books.
Yeah, 200 books just looks so stable. We're going to jump in now to see Gamblers versus Goats. And Goats, I mean, that was almost an early pick, but they're able to gateway out and survive. Moving over, this cash out is over by the research facility, and it's going to be very difficult to make their way in. So Gamblers decide, you know what? It'd be a lot easier if we start pushing over to the other side, cross that bridge into the operations center, and figure out what cash out B is looking like, especially if they can get some early intel on what 200 books holding pattern looks like. Meanwhile, Makeshift has decided that Goats are going to be their next target. Seeing right now is 200 books. They're just taking their time on this setup there. They know that nobody's entering just yet, but gamblers are coming in from underneath. They're taking the tunnels under, but wait, so are Makeshift. Makeshift are here as well. 200 books, they're going to be here in the fighting in the basement.
Sugi looking to avoid contact, if anything. Velo position just waiting, hoping for someone to round that corner. But yeah, they know that they have to deal with gamblers. This third party is not what they wanted as they push. There we go. Sugi has eyes on them. Trapped in the corner are the gamblers right now. Some shots come out, but nothing landing. It's really tentative here. It looks as though the call from Sugi is just about face. Head to the other cash out. Nothing's happening here. We're locked in a stalemate, so we might as well be the handlers of our own destiny.
Oh yeah, goats here again, griefing out a cash out that's not theirs, although this didn't work out very well for them last time. So Carney already has a gateway set up saying, hey, you know what, come back, we've overextended. But that made Makeshift mad. Makeshift realized that they can actually follow in the goat's footsteps, take their own gateway back for them. But Velo, he's good for one. He goes down to such low HP that Sugi actually had his paddles ready to go. The defib already set up. But look at this positioning here. The goats have manipulated this cash out all the way out to the open, and on this sideline there's going to be no cover for them to hold on.
These
they can make their own. They've got the barricades, they've got the domes here, but the cash out gets winched back yet again to the second position. Carnifex takes out one before going down himself, but Palma and Treason, they're in a good spot. The cash out goes to the goats, but Makeshift are angry and they want to win this fight, but it's not going to happen. Just down to Velo here, and it's going to be a smackdown as Palma finishes it off. On the other side, the gamblers actually able to gamblers actually made it work on the other side as well.
Yeah, holding off 200 books it seemed, but there we have it. Yeah, great defense coming out from the goats. Of course, you know, they had every right to poke across the map. They had a good sightline. They barely had to leave their building to do so, and it just put pressure on Makeshift before they even had the chance to get over. I mean, they lost the initial trade even, but they were just so well set up there that Palmer and Carnifex were able to see it through. So great positional play from the goats, benefiting a little bit from that aura that we like to talk about sometimes, Ardy, not receiving too much pressure in the early stages of that first cash out. Head on over to our second one now, as cash out C is being approached here by Palmer. They find Makeshift just waiting here for them, but they haven't suffered much on their approach, and Makeshift in fact taking the brunt of their beating there. The goats can just fall back. That's one of those goos that you think, why?
Yeah, it's just one of those opportunities with the goats. They just want to start playing Fortnite. But over here on these buildings here, the crowded and bustling CNS facilities, there's not a lot of room to play around with. You see Makeshift, and Makeshift, well, they're set up on top, cash out on the bottom. They know that there's at least one player moving to get that cash into a spot. Velo possibly trying to manipulate it out, pull it into the middle, but the goats have just realized that Makeshift have left their height. They're going to capitalize on that, move out into a spot where they can try to collapse in on him the moment that steal happens. Here's that steal, and there is the motion. Beautiful winch to pull it out in the middle, but Alone in Paris, he smells blood in the water. He's going to try to find his way to move in, but Sugi goes down early. It's going to be SA-12-16 chunking out everybody in the air. Velo hits a winch here, but will Palma be able to recombine? He does. He gets a winch of his own. Going to be able to finish that damage out. Alone in Paris going to be healing up at the sidelines. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Alone in Paris, he finds nothing as he tries to come back in, and the goats are so stable.
Yeah, that was excellent there from the goats. They just knew, once they landed that glitch as well at the start, it was so easy to force the hand of their opposition. A wipe coming out as well on the other side of the map against the gamblers. And we have now basically the second cash out secured here by the very same teams that got the first one. So they're going to go way out in front. It's going to be another chase game for Makeshift. They have really not looked at their strongest today. It's a shame to see, because these are talented players, but the bar is just so high here, Ardy.
Exactly, and the picks are still coming through from time to time. Velo just taking out Freaker Blue here, so 200 books down from their medium, but look at this. There's just no reason for this fight to be happening right now. The vaults aren't even opened yet. Vaults aren't even procced yet. We're seeing the cash out finish out finally for the goats. Now, final vaults have spawned in play. Let's see what's going to happen as we get ready for Makeshift to figure out what their target is. 200 books still in the fight. Manda going down. Bigger Blue and Striker up, and Makeshift don't even want to waste time on this. They see Gamblers opening up Vault 5. They know they're playing with a gateway somewhere. They have a gateway play of their own as Lone in Paris gets everybody over the edge towards that research facility. Currently, Gamblers in control. All three of them on the point. They're all together.
Oh, that's
so are
gonna get away.
Makeshift.
Great block bolt there, preemptive to lock them down, but it's dealt with immediately. Kills not quite coming through yet as Gamblers are kiting far and wide away from that point.
The preemptive lock bolt, but the preemptive glitch. I love to see it. Oh, but on the stairs!
There we go.
Gamblers about to come in. Big D-Mat, unfortunately not finding too much as the SH-1900 from Devil's Work pieces out Sugi. Fallen's gonna collapse in on the rest of them with the SH-1216, and Makeshift again rolling in their graves. We jump now.
So patient there.
Oh yeah.
Jumping over to cash out B as we see, oh, maybe the goats looking a little bit bullied, looking a little bit bruised as Palmer goes down. Kriegerblue trying to collect one. There's another kill there from Carnifex, though, as the trade comes out. Treason gets the res on Palmer. You should never doubt the goats. They always find a way to pull ahead. Treason with all three.
Wow.
Well, two. He found two in a res. That's good enough for me.
This is what we love about this new meta with the medium playing Pike, is that the medium isn't in danger. So as soon as the heavy gets picked, you just come in, you still have that defib ready to go. You don't deal with the medium. That means you don't deal with whoever your first pick was. Now see Gamblers still holding on here. Makeshift, they're on their last ploy to try to make this work. If they get this steal, they can take the third place position from Gamblers, but we're just fighting over pennies right now. We see Makeshift now kind of controlling. Gamblers have rotated. They're trying to kite the fight somewhere else. Velo, unfortunately, not able to get that winch nearly as far away as he wanted to, but at least it's out of the building. Gamblers on the sidelines. To be already started off with a little bit of a glitch here, but as the fight starts to move through, Devil's Work, the SH-1900, the double barrels both connect. Sugi's taken away here. There's no chance for the rest to come through, but Velo finds one. Fallen and Koreki, the last two players up, but Fallen's going to be able to get the res here, bring Devil's Work back in quick work. Let's see if it's going to matter here. It's just down to Alone in Paris. He goes away, and it's going to actually be, wait a second, is it Gamblers? Wait.
Gamblers in second as the final cash out, going the way of the goats. They pretty much find that right. Pretty much confirmed. There we go. That's the final one.
Yeah.
Easy enough for them. They pull ahead. Gamblers in second. And this is not quite the hierarchy that we've expected so far. Gamblers taking a nice second place for themselves as the round comes to a close. Yeah, this has been a very stable group, it feels like. Not too much upsetting in terms of the standings overall. But yeah, the GOATs way out ahead, and that's their third top place finish of the evening.
I was so convinced that after that, they got that one pick on the GOATs that maybe 200 books had a chance, but no. I mean, this is said and done here, but hey, a huge up here for the GOATs to still manage to maintain first on the majority of their games. Gamblers in second, just kind of coming back there from that unfortunate map on Las Vegas. But Makeshift, yeah, they're back on the struggle bus and back on the not sure what the right adaptation is moving forward. We're going to be coming into Fortune Stadium next, which is my favorite map, as I always say. And here, I honestly have to say that the GOATs have just been doing fantastic. There's not much to say. It's GOATs' world, and we're all just living in it.
That is true. It's a GOAT simulator out here, you could say. And that is what they're up to. They're just simulating victories. Awful, but we go with it. I don't know what else to say. This is one of the most sort of predictable and also like slowest groups. There hasn't been like, apart from that final moment on Vegas where we saw the flip come the way of 200 books with Strike, it's been really pedestrian. Like there's not been any real standout moments, any massive standout plays. The one that sort of comes to mind is Treason playing at the top of Cis Horizon, but I feel like I want to see this group end with a bang. You know, we have a fifth map now for a reason. This is where you let loose, you do what you want, you style on people. I want to see like some Dual Blades plays, some Riot Shield, whatever it is. Like, I want to see a team go full Melo. Why not?
Hey,
you know, the goats could do it now.
We saw Riot Shield on this map before. Maybe this is the time, Makeshift. Maybe this is the time. I mean, it's actually not even going to be the first time that a Riot Shield would be played on Fortune Stadium. So yeah, you're right. Just pull all the stops out and just make something work. we get ready to dive in here on Fortune Stadium. Will the GOATs retain first place and hold their fortune as their own? Or will Makeshift finally make their way out? Yeah, we're getting some changes up. Now FAMAS coming out. Looking good for Makeshift for now, but we'll see the GOATs also early strike, but it's Makeshift with, unfortunately, not getting any value out of that early RPG. But yeah, now we got the double deeks coming out too. Opama goes out early. Treason
with a matter kill as well. They're really mixing things up. Carnifex finding a trade though onto the heavy, and Sugi does find that res. It's still advantage to Makeshift here. Treason and Carney both very low. And look, he finds the booty. Smack the booty. No, he doesn't get him. And down goes Alone in Paris, falling to his death. It's all falling apart. Sugi though grabs the kill onto Carney with that FAMAS. And Velo trades exactly with Palmer. It's not a wipe just yet as Treason is still standing and he wins the 1 versus 1 onto Sugi. How have the GOATs done it?
Treason just plays medic. You got the defib, stick in the revive. That's all you gotta do. Over to the other side, we see 200 books get taken away there. The library is closed, to say the least, as gamblers walk away with the very first set of progress over to Cash Out B. 25% completion. We actually could be seeing Makeshift come back in to fight this, but no, they spawn closer to the GOATs. They have a good opportunity to get in here, move all the way over. Oh no, wait, you made it back.
Try again. Yep, thumbs up. Thumbs up from Alone in Paris. Great job. Of course, he's trying to dash across with the jump pad, throw that gateway to mitigate the fact that right now there's a defense on the hospital, and that's going to make it very rough. In fact, they're going to turn away. They decide they don't want to have to deal with the GOATs. Going to try and third party on B instead. And B is a pretty hot topic right now. There's 200 books getting their best clothes on. Trying to force that steal. Forced off of it, though, by gamblers. A lot of utility being spent by both sides, though, and this will suit Makeshift down to the ground if they can time their entry right.
Oh, but a model play here with Koreki. Coming through to just get that early chip damage on. They do stabilize. Now they're going to be up on top. Gas ready to go. D-Man it right on top of the cash out. It's going to be beautiful. Makeshift still has the opportunity to pull it away with the winch, but question is 200 books. They're going to be making the biggest impact here on a Makeshift. It looks like they are. But Alone in Paris and Velo, they deal with it. 200 books is wiped out. This is actually probably not what gamblers were expecting, given Makeshift's performance in the previous maps. But for Makeshift, this is the time to make the changes and make it work. That timer ticks away slowly. They know they have to push into gamblers sooner rather than later. They know that they're playing off the point. The question is where. They start off the steal to at least try to bait them out, and they do. It's going to give Alone in Paris every bit of info that he needs. But, unfortunately, trying to play with the H+ diffuser, the barricade outdoes them. Koreki finds one, but Alone in Paris gets a trade. Is he going to be able to get the second? He doesn't find the second. He's in the mesh. Velo finds one. Wait, what's happening? It's just down to Velo, but he's not going to be able to do it. And gamblers still retain control. The cash out finished seconds ago anyway. The GOAT's going to be up on top here at Sector 6 as well. It's already theirs. And
wow.
Jerry, we've seen this one before.
We have. Makeshifts. Wow, they wiped one team. They couldn't make it two, though. The great defense by the gamblers. They were probably very happy to see that third party come in and wipe their opposition. They were able to set up properly. That was so close, though. Makeshift have just been a hair's breadth away from victory in a couple of counts now. When it comes to that first Vault fight, you think about it, they were so close. Almost getting the steal. Here we go, Palmer taking a lot of damage, taken out. Carney finds the kill in response. Treason reses him back up. Krieger back up as well. Krieger goes down. Manda goes down, rather. Palmer finds his kill. It's just trades back and forth, but 200 books are the ones out for the count. The GOATs always find a way to snowball it. And they will defend admirably here. They do have a second team incoming, though, and it's the gamblers with a much better timed third party, it would seem.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
they might have a chance here.
They might. Carnifex gets his health back. Carnifex has scouted them out. Looks like gamblers are hearing the footsteps, and they're trying to figure out if they can get that early pick out of Carney, but it's, of course, not going to happen. This is the GOATs that we're talking about. Gambler's going to be already losing a little bit of health. Devil's Work going down just 50 HP. Bone and Koreki, they restabilize somewhere over to the sidelines, and so far in this building, it does not look like they are going to find an opening. And the Ngimo building, there are so many different corridors, but yeah, Gambler's just not looking good.
They haven't committed, and now they're going to have to deal with multiple parties above them. Treason taken out by Strike. That will benefit anyone that tries to steal. The Goats now down to 2. Strike finding Devil's Work as well. Krieger taking out Kiriki. Wow, right now 200 Books are taking names. Doesn't matter what side, whether it's pink or purple, they are taking everyone out. Treason does coin back in, but he's very far away. The winch comes out from Palmer to deny it. He does manage to fall back with that barricade to protect him. Taken out by Strike as well. The kills are flowing here for 200 Books. They have lost Krieger Blue in the process, though. We see Carnifex now holding as a lone man on this point. Treason as well up above, in fact. And it feels like no team is able to gain enough momentum against anyone in particular, against Goats. They've all recovered, all of them now back up in the fray. And I just think it's been, 1,000 cuts, but there hasn't been a death of either side, any side at the end of it. It's just been constant of whittling down. And at the end of it, C goes out with a whimper. The Goats are very happy to claim that second cash out of theirs.
Oh, and they have more than enough time to go and fight on D, or at the very least start trolling and figuring out who they're going to grief. Because Makeshift, they are in control right now, which is huge for them. But on the Holto building, there are lots and lots of nooks and crannies that you got to worry about.
Sorry. It looks like he's playing Doom. I've never seen anyone run around with the ADS out on the... Devil's Work does get a kill at the end of it. And he gets a second. Maybe you're supposed to ADS with this. It's probably an observer bug. We forgive it, but I love it. Kiriki finds that final kill, and that's a wipe on 200 Books. ADS on your double barrels, folks. It's the way to play.
But look at this. I mean, Gamblers, they're doing Makeshift's work for them. Makeshift now still about to lose control, though. They just move over to the sidelines for just a bit, and it's going to be enough, though. They have the timing. Velo is going to be able to get the winch. They pulls that timing out. They don't even need to win that fight anymore. This is Makeshift finally back in form as they pull this up, currently holding in second place. But, I mean, during all of that, the Goats have already started the next set. The 18K is already in. The Goats are so stable in money right now, nothing matters to them.
Yeah. And can we just point out as well, we're seeing 2 double barrel lights in this lobby. Strike and Devil's Work have opted to move on to it. This building is in utter tatters, by the way.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's a bit of a problematic piece of debris. You have to go on over to the other side there, Strike. But feeling a little bit risky. Has that Vanish Bomb, though, as well, to keep himself safe. A lovely tool in combo with the SH, because you can just close that distance very safely. And this is a great place for them to be right now. They have that cash out. Well,
they have the gateway as well. Wait, can he get the gateway? Can he get up there? Yeah, he's going to be able to, right? Oh, they're going to double. They're going to try and double.
Well, they need that. They're so far behind right now.
The double hits!
It's in the hands of the Goats, though, and they would look to see themselves way out in front. Anyone who finishes with this cash out will win this lobby, will win Sis Horizon, so it is all to play for with the last minute or so, Ardy.
Merchant Stadium. But yeah, absolutely. Honestly, this is kind of crazy, though. 200 Books. They've made their way in, they've made their plug, but for now, they haven't really made much progress to finding anybody. What is this? That's illegal! Mama! We can't just be camping like this, but it works out. Strike's gonna get rezzed up early there by Krieger Blue, and now the rest of the fight's gonna happen as Fallen finds Palma. Gamblers currently up 3 at the moment here. Goats looking worse for wears. 200 Books as well, gonna be getting chipped away slowly but surely. Mana gonna fall as Gamblers are looking to take control, but for Makeshift, this is everything. They need to get first place here in order to make sure that their points do not look as depressing as they currently do. Krieger Blue survives. Just got to be another 10 seconds there for Strike to come back in, but that timer ticks down as Krieger Blue gets wiped. That's 200 Books off the board. No more 200 Books. The Goats, they're going to be losing their medium. That's no more defib. We're going to be seeing Carnifex able to find one on Sugi, but Makeshift is just down to a load of Paris. The steal that they need so desperately is not going to happen as the Goats walk away with that cash out and as Vault 7 spawns into the lobby. I don't even know what is happening anymore. This was chaos through and through, but for Makeshift, a second place finish is more than enough than everything else that they've had all day.
Yeah, that is at least letting them walk away with a shred of dignity and showing that they have some fight in them. But just the Goats. 72k at the very end is quite incredible.
Oh yeah, but Goats have just looked so stable all day. I gotta say, I think that there has just been a lack of macro in this group. There are so many little mistakes that keep happening where these teams are losing a player early on, where these teams are like not anticipating the stall or the cash out manipulation whatsoever. There were so many times where if these teams had just placed like goo differently or place these barricades differently to where they wouldn't get the cash out winched away from them mid-steal, then we would have seen a lot more cash changing hands here. But I mean, for the GOATs, though, none of that is an issue. Clearly, looking at their score lines, and I mean, just going back to Cash Out C over on the Angimo building, the one that's based off of the data center on Seoul, they just looked so stable. No matter where these teams were coming from, didn't matter if it was a third party or if it was the initial fight. I mean, Jerry, the GOATs, they're living up to their name.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And I'd be surprised if we don't get to see them at the very top of the standings come the end of the day, considering how split Group 1 was with Pulsar just not performing to their sort of high standards. Only 2 first place finishes and a lot of thirds for them. So yeah, it could be a bit of a change in the guard here across the day. But I just want to say, yeah, that was a pretty good group. Gotta be honest, it felt kind of mid. It was like, where was the entertainment factor throughout the whole of that? I wanted more action. Maybe I'm just an action junkie, but yeah, that just felt so comfortable for GOATs at almost all points throughout the game. And yeah, it was only really that final game that we saw Makeshift put in a real shift and come up with that second place finish. So yeah, maybe it's just this group. There's something about this set of teams that they just fell into the right places, and this is where they belong.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing, is that for this group, it is so tight where the competition for each of these teams is about at that level. But then you get Card Effects and Palma and Treason, and they're just one step ahead of everybody else. And I mean, for Gamblers, they were able to keep up at so many points. I mean, especially looking back to Monaco, looking back to like the maps where Gamblers were at least able to make some really key plays. For 200 books as well. I keep talking about this. They came for the open qualifiers and they're keeping up the pace of everybody else. But for Makeshift, I mean, I gotta say, last week on Wednesday, they were looking so solid. Today, it was just Alone in Paris and Friends. And so I'm really hoping to see coming into Wednesday's matches when we get to EU Playday number 3, that we will have some adaptations. Clearly, some more work in the scrims is needed, but folks, I mean, we still got some more matches coming up on the way. We got an entire Group C headed out. So, I mean, Jerry, before we go to the break, is there anything left to say?
Absolutely not. See you in 5.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back here. It is EU Playday number 2. We're about to jump into Group C. My name is Artie. I'm here with Jerry, and, well, we've had some crazy shenanigans. We had a Group A that was explosive and fiery, and we had a Group B that was, goats.
Yeah.
Jerry, how's everything going?
It was just goats. There wasn't really much else happening besides goats in that group. So yeah, it was impressive. I loved watching Group A. I watched Group B, and now we're here to watch Group C.
Now we're here to watch Group C, figure out exactly what these teams have in store. We got a lot of amazing players. Before we jump to that, we'll take a look at the scores real quick here. Update you guys on the overall leaderboard. Never mind here, we're not going to be doing that because what we can do, though, is look at the teams here. Look at the teams here in Group C, figure out who we're playing with. It's going to be Aimers, Bad Wi-Fi, Saints 1, and Team Extreme. Aimers being one of the top teams to look at here. They ended on Wednesday on day 1 at 2nd place overall, just behind Pulsar. And so, honestly, coming into this one, I think that they have an easier lobby than usual ahead of them. But with Saints 1, honestly, they are so unpredictable. We don't know if Saints 1 is going to be having a fantastic day where they're just piece everybody out. But yeah. Oh, so we're jumping in now with Aimers, Saints 1, Bad Wi-Fi, and Team Extreme. We're on Monaco, and Aimers is gonna be. Oh, Aimers is looking. I'm sorry. Saints 1. Starting off, Aimers is already down a player here. Roma, he's going to get rezzed up here by the man himself, Raimka, as Elix goes out. Saints 1 going to be starting off really strong. This could be one of their good days. Like I was saying before, we never know how Saints 1 is going to perform in the lobby, but they're looking more than positive right now. We jump over to the other cash out on the other side of the map. It's Bad Wi-Fi versus Team Extreme. Team Extreme's looking to get involved as early as possible.
Oh, brain freeze. Oh, see why it takes down Floppy. Floppy takes down Drax. It's almost a wipe, but it's not, because the Reds come through, leading Dagger, leading the charge with a kill onto CY's. That Pike is just so dangerous. Maldarok and Floppy both very low HP. Floppy hits that regen, but down goes his heavy, and down he goes as well. Arpika finds that final kill with the ARN.
It's funny to see Arpika not using the Rafika. I mean, the 9-3R is so stable, but he doesn't need it.
Yeah, true. Alright. Okay, now that I've gathered myself, we are finally back here. And the first cash outs have been started successfully by Aimers and Saints 1. Teams on the left of your screen. I'm very excited to see Aimers back on my screen. If you're wondering who Elix is, that is previously Noah X. So this is the same squad that did quite so well. In fact, finished 3rd overall across both regions in the Season 0 of the Pro Hub, so definitely keep an eye on them. We're expecting them to do fantastically. The rest of this lobby is, at the moment, sitting right near the bottom of the standings after the first day of action, but of course, plenty of that can change. Saints 1 elsewhere. It's Team Extreme that are currently trying to take down Aimers, but this is a great layered defense right now from Aimers.
Yeah, Aimers is just kiting. Like, no matter what Team Extreme is trying to do, they cannot get on the point. And look at that, Roma finds Arpika, takes him out. Oh, I mean, for some reason, leading Dagger, he's just going to be starting off trying to hold that seal. Drax going to go out as well, and Team Extreme has bit the dust already. It is going to be Executor that's playing in, for whatever reason, in streamer mode. So we'll see what's going to happen now. Moving over to Saints 1. They are still in control of their cash out here. Bad Wi-Fi. They're going to try to reconnect to this cash out in a way that matters. But, oh! The shots looking really good from Mickey.
Yeah, he is known as a very talented player. Mickey summoned Amelia and Saints 1. Didn't do so well on that first day compared to what they would expect, but we're doing quite well here. Great Overwatch on the cash out. Just need to play with the time. Of course, Bad Wi-Fi have now taken above and are trying to collapse down on them. But Saints 1, as we take a quick look at the health bars, don't seem all that scathed. But Emilian somehow gets a kill out of that before being taken down. And it is a clean 2 versus 2. Now make that a 2 versus 1. Make that 2 versus none. There's someone and Mickey coming in, clean up the pieces. Defending their cash out very nicely. On the other side, we have Aimers still trying to defend from Team Extreme. It's a last gasp saloon here, but look at this angle from Rainco. Very nice. Getting in behind the push. Finding an opportunity. Empties those Deagle mags. Can't quite do it, but it looks like the steal is actually being stuck here unsuccessfully. Leading Dagger takes out both Romac and Elix. The res is being attempted here, but Rainco will clean up houses. Leading Dagger doing a lot of work for Team Extreme, but it's not enough.
Yeah, not enough indeed, but unfortunately for Team Extreme, that will be the end of their run for that one. But another set of vaults means another opportunity for greatness. You're going to be seeing right now as Bad Wi-Fi gets an early opening on Evolve 4, but Saints 1, right in the Cathedral, they're going to have Aimers to contend with, depending on if Aimers really see it as worth it. Looking though like already Saints 1 is in control of Cash Out C. I was so fast, and Bad Wi-Fi is going to get an equally fast plug over to D all the way over in the park here.
Yeah, this is a good spot to defend, but this is a better spot to defend. Out in the open. They want to be able to have multiple sight lines on it. Someone and Emilian finding kills on the other side as they are dealing with the insurgent Saints 1, but Saints 1 look like they're coming out on top of that, and that is a wipe. Very nicely done, dealing with the second place seed in the entire league at present. And yeah, Saints 1 riding high. They're well ahead as it stands and potentially going clean into first. We have an engagement here coming out from Team Extreme. RPika trying to deal as much damage as you can, emptying that mag. Finds one onto Seawise. Malderock trades back though, and we're in a 1 versus 1 here between the two light, no, the heavy and the light, and it is our pick of the light that comes out on top. Here wow, that defense very nicely.
Yeah, I mean, Team Extreme, they're looking a lot better on this fight than they were before. Saints 1, I mean, I'm actually really impressed with the fact that they're able to just fully retain control here from Aimers, but Aimers can take their time on this one. It is going to be a fight from a long distance right now, and Elix, he does tend to struggle with the pike here, and not very surprised to see that happening this time. Saints 1 is able to get the W from a distance, but now with Raimka, he's going to be able to jump on in with the doubled eagles. He's chunking out the damage, but doesn't find a finish. He has to end himself early off with the RPG. And that's going to be Saints 1 walking away with Cash Out C. And Aimers, unfortunately, having a worse for wear time in the second set of Cash Outs. We see Team Extreme also diving in, playing as stall as they can against Bad Wi-Fi.
Excellent winch coming out there from Team Extreme. Drax, the heavy in question, and RPika collecting all the kills. Malderock trades him out, but he's down for the count as well. Drax gets the finishing blow, and that is a full team wipe, and everyone back up to Team Extreme. Looking pretty hot right now, but they haven't had that much contention from the bigger fish in this pool. Aimers at the moment struggling to deal with Saints 1, but of course there's still a good few cash outs to go. 2.5 minutes left on the timer already. Both those final cash outs spawn in. And it's still all to play for with the cash tallies quite even.
Yeah, the tallies are super even across the board except for Bad Wi-Fi, but even Bad Wi-Fi has an opportunity to make this work as long as they can get the plug as well. But right now, they aren't in control of either of the vaults. They're trying to make sure they can get in early with Vault 5, but Saints 1, they got an early plug before. It looks like they're about to get an early one again as the Gateway. Oh, wait. The Gateway doesn't take the Vault. Vault 5 is still available. Someone does manage to grab it. However, Team Extreme from the top ropes, though. It's very difficult. Aimers also on the other side. They're uncontested for now. Bad Wi-Fi moves in, trying to deal a little bit of damage to Team Extreme. They know they're down one player. But Drax could be getting res here in just a moment. We'll see Leading Dagger get that res. The paddles are available. Bad Wi-Fi is looking very, very choppy on this fight here.
What are they fighting over, though? They're just trying to kill each other at the moment. It's very easy for Saints 1 and Aimers to just defend their bounties. Bad Wi-Fi looking to skirt underneath Team Extreme, whether they know it or not. They're heading straight for B, making a beeline, if you will. And Team Extreme are now positioned to try and third party. The question is whether Saints 1 are going to be ready for this. Aimers very happy to play just Overwatch on this entire situation. We've got,
I mean, Aimers need to make sure that they get a steal. They need to make sure they get both of these, but the timing is going to be very rough. But for now, Aimers, they're guaranteed second place if they can lock in one of them. But RPika taking out Roma early on is not what you want to see for the Aimers squad. For Saints 1, though, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, of course, Aimers they can play Overwatch, like you say, but it's not the ideal situation. Roman's going to coin in, of course, why not? It's right to the end of the game. You see the opportunity here for Team Extreme. They're going to be the ones to pull the trigger first, and they're going to be the ones that are the recipients of all this damage out in their direction. Here comes the dome, but I don't think it's going to last very long. Gets shot down, and out goes the heavy, winched to his death by Emilian, who then falls back. Traded out there by RP Kasiwais, raising up Floppy at the moment. Bad Wi-Fi, the team that may look to benefit from all of this. We see, of course, Aimers coming in from above. They need to try and get a steal in these final 20 seconds or so on Cash Out B, but I fear there may just be too much chaos around it for anyone to get it, and Saints 1 could walk with this. They are all still fully up and ready to go. Someone unleashes hell with that glitch grenade. I don't know. I mean, I feel like everything that's going to happen here is just a long wait until Saints 1 find that first place. No more time already left. The gas will confirm it as well. Cash Out A is far too far away as well. Aimers will be happy with their second place. They did try to get first, but as this one comes to a rather quiet close, I don't think anyone's going to close that gap quickly enough. That should be second place fairly confirmed for Aimers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was looking like a possibility when Raincoat was in position, but that winch just did not connect where it needed to, and yeah, all was said and done. Honestly, a standout performance from Saints 1, however. Saints 1 very much underperforming to people's expectations on Wednesday, but now they are here, and they are showing us why they are coming all the way back from Season 0, their amazing performances there. Why they're one of the teams that has actually been has been looked at by a lot of the EU orgs that want to sign squads for the upcoming major. I mean, there's a reason that Saints 1 has been looked at as much as they have. And look at someone, 11 kills on the board. That's actually going to be 20 kills for Saints 1, 120 points to start off the match. What a phenomenal start here.
Yeah, and if there's something you can say about Saints 1 as well, it's that their mental game is so strong. Like, these guys are just really chill, really relaxed about putting in the best performance and not letting past performances dictate what happens in the moment for them. And, you know, they've come into today with a fresh face, it seems. Like, that is a real standout play performance. Look at the money, look at the kills. Nothing you can say about this team is negative right now. Look at the performance, though, from RPK and leading Dagger on the side of Team Extreme. They only come out with a third place finish, but look at the kills. That is something to be fearing going into the next few maps.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's a big performance, but what I really want to point out here is bad Wi-Fi. This was just a bad game. I mean, you know, Monaco is a hit or miss for a lot of teams. It's like Seoul. Monaco and Seoul are two maps where you're either good at it or you're not good at it. Those maps play so differently to everything else that's in the game at this point that you have to be used to not only, you know, the play style that's required to win on Monaco, but you also have to understand how the other teams are going to be playing around it, because it's not ever going to be a vacuum here. And for Team Extreme, they know what they're doing when they lock in. For bad Wi-Fi, they could not tell what the right call was at any moment.
No, it was a bit of a rough one for bad Wi-Fi, but they did have some decent positioning. We saw that, for instance, that first take on the Grandma's house up against Saints 1, they had a decent play. They managed to get up on top and collapse down, but there was just some fights that I looked at and I was thinking, why aren't they winning those? Emilian getting out with his life, for instance, at the very start just goes to show that little edge that he has as a heavy player, just over the sort of your average Joe. Not that Team Extreme are average Joes, but you know, in the grand scheme of Pro Hubs right now, they're sitting in 9th place, and Saints 1 only one position below them, in fact, right now. But that definitely changed after that map. We're expecting Saints 1 to really climb the standings in this group.
Oh yeah, but now that we're about to jump into Bernal, we have to just remember that in right now, Season 7's Pike meta, this is going to be where we can see what teams have adapted best. But even as I say that, I know that some squads have been choosing to play a little bit differently, and Saints 1 and Aimers are two of those teams that have been challenging the meta on this map in particular. You can see the F-car coming out here from Mickey, and honestly, one of the best F-cars in the game, I gotta say. But look at a bad Wi-Fi. They're also going to be, I mean, hey, running at this with an M60 in hand. They're going to be encountering Saints 1 really early on now. This Vault to be procced by anybody. But over the other side, Aimers and Team Extreme already trading blows. For now, Vault going to get opened up by Saints 1.
Good jump coming out from Mickey, finding Ploppy on the other end of his F-car, and Emilian taking out T-Wise as well, has left Madlock all alone, backed into a corner. Ooh, very close there. I don't think Amelia knew how close he was to just rounding a corner and grabbing a free team wipe, but they don't worry too much about that. They're going to ferry this box on over to B and get that timer started. On the other side, Aimers being wiped out, it seems, by Team Extreme, who get themselves off to a much more flying start than we saw on Monaco.
Yeah, a very good start for everybody except for Bad Wi-Fi. Not a single bit of opening kills to their name, nor any vault or steal money. I mean, this is kind of a rough start, but looking to make a little bit of an entry here over on B.
Wipe, you know?
They didn't wipe. You're right. Saints won. They've got the high ground, and well, we'll see if Bad Wi-Fi is going to be able to pull off something here. Ploppy is trying to recombine with the rest of the group here. They know that if they do a drop play, that they need to make sure that the entire team is ready to collapse in. They're going to bounce pad with the DMAT, and unfortunately, they get a lot of opening damage. That RPG connects exactly where it needs to. Someone going to go down early right now, though, but so does Ploppy. Matterlock and CY is on such low HP with no H plus infusion to heal him back up. Bad Wi-Fi gets bad wiped out, and Saints won. They're stable on cash out B. We look to cash out A, where Aimers, they're trying to win this fight as best they can, but Team Extreme is playing their game. They're kiting the Cathedral.
Well, Alex taking a lot of damage there as well, but it doesn't seem as though Team Extreme have managed to convert that into anything, as he will hit that regen immediately and get back up. That cash out is a really horrible location. It's being dropped multiple times now, down a few layers, down a few floors, and the fight is going on around it. The question is, can Arpika get in on the action? He senses one behind him, but Roma is just that little bit better. Reimka finding two for himself, and that is a wipe onto Team Extreme. As long as they don't get third-partied here, they should be able to reset and confirm this cash out for themselves.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is what Aimers does best, is they just wait for the right opportunity to pull things to their pressure points. And, well, we're going to be looking over to Bad Wi-Fi, and pressure points definitely being pulled right now. Look at those shots as Emilian just lands every single bit of damage from that 50 cal assault rifle. CY is going to go down as well as Mickey hits the FCAR shots that he's needed. Oh, and even though the winch misses, the Shack 50 doesn't. And Matterlock will find themselves on the respawn screen. Look over to Aimers and Team Extreme, and Aimers just makes some very quick decision making as those shots fall through. Our first set of cash outs are already done, Jerry.
It's unusual to see a team in Saints 1 right now that are running entirely fully automatic weapons. You usually see a shotgun in amongst it, or the pike or something, but we have a setup on Saints 1 of I believe it was ARN, Shack, and FCAR. So yeah, a really rangy loadout and team dynamic, team comp that they've decided to go with. Maybe that's part of their success. They are way out in front. They're controlling these long distance engagements. We saw, for instance, Mickey getting 2 kills before was it Team Extreme could even get close. So yeah, really impressive stuff, just dominating the map as it stands. Cash out 4 being moved here by Aimers, but Bad Wi-Fi are hot on their tail.
What if I told you you looked rangy, Jerry? Would you like that very much?
I wouldn't know what to make of that, but I
well,
will
look
take
at
it
that
as the
rangy
complimented
heals.
Yeah.
Keeping Reimka alive. Helix gonna take out CY as a Bad Wi-Fi. Well, they've disconnected as that team has been wiped. Over to the other side, though, Saints 1 continuing their pressure from Monaco. They are well on their way with their first cash as well. Team Extreme RPK gonna be trying to finish this fight here in a way that matters. Someone gonna have the opportunity to coin back in if he's not already getting res, but now Saints 1, they're biding their time as Team Extreme gets ready to coin back in for their next run-up. Bad Wi-Fi gonna have to figure out if they are gonna try to third party or run it back up against Aimers.
We have a full lobby right now. It's been rare so far this game, but everyone fully set up. Sorry, I don't know how I stumbled over the word fully. It's 2 syllables, Jerry. Get it together. Saints 1 defending cash out C. Of course, already half that timer elapsed. A great dive coming in from Arpika, but someone just about gets the better of him. And the trade comes out from Drax as well to further their pain. Leading Dagger gets a kill onto Mickey and finds the res. They could turn this round, but someone and Emilian are doing bits here. Just about holding on. Arpika dies for a second time at someone's hand. And that hold will be successful. An attempted steal here coming out from the other side from Bad, or onto, but from Bad Wi-Fi. They're successful there.
Yeah, Aimers got taken out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is enough time for another fight to come through here. I can hear the winches popping off, cash out manipulation well underway, and for Bad Wi-Fi, this is the opening that they needed. And for Aimers, this is kind of do or die, because if they lose this, they could lose the opportunity to be competitive in the next set of cash outs as far as the money is concerned. right now they are going to be taking back shots from some other teams that are trying to third party. But Bad Wi-Fi, they're stable up on top of Cash Out D. Aimers looks to try to find their way in. Possibly going to be going for the classic jump pad RPG opening. There's a jump pad. There's the RPG. The damage hits. The winch doesn't. C-Wise, though, going to get chunked out, pulled away from the team. Can't apply the damage from the angle that is needed. Bobby going to be going out as well, but just barely surviving. C-Wise with just 5 HP. Matterlock going to go out there. They winch the cash out of the gas. Oh, but there's another gas mine that hits. Luckily, they do have the H+ infuser, but Raidka goes out anywhere from the side. Even though C-Wise is taken out, there's almost nothing that this team can do. They have to jump in, but that steal's not going to happen thanks to the gas. Bad Wi-Fi with a phenomenal stall play right there. Aimers just had to be a little faster on the trigger and maybe a little less close to the mines.
Yeah, those mines all triggered just a little bit too... I'm trying to... I wanted to say uncautious. There's definitely a word for that. Help me here, Artie. What is uncautious?
I think you've had too much Cornetto. It's screwing with your comms a bit.
Yeah, there's something about downing an entire Cornetto in one bite that might be medically inadvisable. So, yeah.
Oh, but you know what? We'll see that. If only, some people had figured that out in the past. But we got the Cathedral starting off strong with Saints 1. 41k, another 18 on the way. Mickey, someone in a million, really locking it in, especially compared to last week. They want to make sure that they are at their best performance, on their best behavior, especially with the orgs looking so closely at their performance right now. For Aimers, they're in the same boat. Elix really wants to make sure that they can get control of this vault early on, because if they do get the plug and they get the cash out, they do have a competitive fight for this second place position. But question is, will they also be able to possibly contest with Saints 1? We'll find out soon. Aimers getting jumped in on. Bad Wi-Fi is already up on the top, Jerry.
And he is. Well, that they are. And Leading Dagger finding an opening kill onto Roma, causing some issues here for the defense. Another kill here from our picker. It is now only Reimka, the heavy on the defense for Aimers. Not the longest of respawn timers, but our picker taken out by Ploppy as Bad Wi-Fi. Of course, having their finger in this pie, they want to steal it as well. They are going to successfully do so as well, as it's flipped and they're all up. Now, can they transition into a hold, into a defensive structure at this point? Still lots of gas mines on top of this point of their own deployment. So
I mean, for Aimers, they've realized that the money is in their favor if they can get the steal onto Saints 1. So they're turning away from the safety of second place. As long as they could get this, they could lock in first. So Aimers about to jump into the Cathedral to challenge Saints 1, but we're still here looking at Team Extreme versus Bad Wi-Fi. Both these teams could be vying for third place. Oh, but the damage is just so true right now from Ploppy. The SH-1900 really going to be oppressive in those tight corridors. And for Team Extreme, they're trying to stabilize. They don't even know where the rest of Bad Wi-Fi is holding from. But for now, Aimers and Saints 1, that timer is ticking down over to the Cathedral. Aimers is going to be starting the steal there, but now Saints 1 is jumping in. Elix is going to go down to Mickey over to the other side. We're still here on A, though. We're looking at A, and on Bad Wi-Fi, they are unable to hold on. The steal comes to fruition from Team Extreme as they lock in here. Bad Wi-Fi is going to try to knock that out, and Aimers, unfortunately, the gamble did not pay off. They are now going to be locking in third place here, depending on if Team Extreme or Bad Wi-Fi hit it. But, wow, that is a steal! They just pulled that all the way out. They're not able to hold the steal, though. The gas is still on. An amazing set of just stall potential that's coming through right now, but it will be Team Extreme walking away with that last cash out.
Oh, wow. What a chaotic cash out. And unfortunately, it doesn't mean too much in the end for Aimers, who did abandon it. They wanted to go for that first place finish, targeting Saints 1, but Saints 1 are just doing bits right now. Team Extreme coming out with that second place finish, benefiting from Aimers' passiveness, maybe their decision to try and go for the bigger fish. Of course, there is extra incentive in this format to really push for that first place finish, as opposed to a sort of typical tournament in game where you know, first and second is neither here nor there. As long as you get through, you're going to do well.
Oh my God.
But look at that performance, man. That's 22 kills.
Another 122 points on the board for Saints 1. That is a total of 242 points for Saints 1 in 2 maps. To put that into perspective, that is more points than one of the teams received in Group A.
Yeah, but That's crazy. They are making this group completely their own. And if not for the fact that they finished Group A, or sorry, that they finished day one in a less than ideal position, they would probably be right at the top of the leaderboard right now. You know, they are standing out as the best team so far. The Goats, of course, won their first 2 games earlier in Group B, but they didn't do it with quite so many kills to their name as well. This is definitely a standout side today in aimers.
That's the thing, right? Is that you can look at a team that's really good at macro and really good at making sure they get the timing to, you know, even when you pull that out. But for Saints 1, they have both macro and shots. So, like...
Yeah. Saints 1, of course, just, absolutely decimating. And they finished 10th after the first play day. So that was a surprise to us, just in case people are looking at the standings today and thinking, oh yeah, Aimers going to walk over this group. No, Saints 1 have always given as good as they got. Finished last season, I believe, in 3rd place, just behind Aimers, who were in 2nd in Season 1. If not, they were in 4th. It was a very, very close one.
It was very close.
We expect them to be up in the top by the end of the season. So yeah, this is the start of their rise. They just needed a week to get going. Well, not even a week, 4 days.
Exactly, right? Sometimes you need that run up, right? I mean, there's some real life stuff that can happen. Unfortunately, we all can't stay plugged into the arena. But yeah, I mean, Mickey, Someone, and Emilian, like, they just consistently put out good performance in the first 2, and let's see if they can keep that running. For Bad Wi-Fi, I need to see them playing a little bit more together and a little bit less disjointed when it comes to holding control. And for Aimers, this squad is definitely, like, they try to play as much as they can off the beaten path. They don't try to play into the meta. They don't try to play into a situation that is not good for them. They know that Roma is his own light player, and they make sure that they're putting themselves in a spot where Roma can do his best. For now, I need to see them doing that in a way that can overcome the just prowess that Saints 1 is holding.
Yeah, right now they've rolled a decent die because they come up against Bad Wi-Fi in this opening fight, and they immediately collect 2 kills off the back of that. Ploppy, the last one standing, is a light, and it's unfortunately down to 2 bar already. Reimka will find him as Ploppy take down Roma, but that's an easy res for him. Ploppy, interestingly, playing the Matter as well, as we just saw.
Well, it's Revolver time with iron sights.
Leading
as a Revolver
dagger.
player myself, I gotta say that's not the what I was expecting. But see what's gonna happen now. Saints 1. No pressure yet in the hotel building.
So Cash Out 2, just a tasty morsel, a very tempting bite as it comes through. No, it doesn't. That's not ideal. There we go. And yeah, I'm not quite sure how that happens, but either way, it's just one of those things. And finally, Team Extreme get that box plugged, but obviously Saints 1 are hot on their tail. Little fight going on up top. Mickey wins that one, but RPK trades back onto someone. Mickey very low HP, but not taking any flack from this position as he contributes to that kill. Emilian finding Drax. Mickey gets the res as well. Goes in deep, finds some damage, but doesn't get the kill. RPK trades back there. 1 versus 1, and someone is just the better light player. That wipe goes the way of Saints 1. Team Extreme taken out, and the reses will come through. The steal will come through. Let's head on over to Cash Out ARD.
Yeah, we'll see Aimers right now setting up from the top, and well, Aimers, they are going to be trying to bait Bad Wi-Fi out of position, and they do that very successfully. They fake the team-ad, and it works out well as Bad Wi-Fi comes up to the top to try to swap positioning with them, but look at the model just chunking out damage. They realize they put Bad Wi-Fi all the way on the other side. They are going to be able to get a perfect res up on a Reimka right now. Oh, but the shot misses! Matterlock not able to follow through, though. He can't collect the debts. Now we'll see Ploppy and C-Wise try to figure out if they can get into a spot to get the res. They're not going to be able to. Ploppy goes down. C-Wise goes down as well, and Aimers, they're going to do what they do best. That's going to be stabilize on the cash. Still belongs to them, and they're going to try to punish the spawns. They know every single spawn on this map. They know how to punish every position that can come through. We see now Saints 1 going at it to try to come back up towards Team Extreme, and Team Extreme is just stuck in between a rock and a hard place. They're already out of the game, Jerry.
Yeah, that C4 trap beautifully done by Emilian, and we saw just how much value there is in being able to set up their Saints 1 managed to do it exceptionally. They do still have to fend off a potential last-minute scrap from Bad Wi-Fi, who are coming in along the ground floor, possibly giving the game away there as they make a lot of noise on their approach, and they're met with a a wall of goo in their way. This box out in the open. The winch misses. The return does not. Amelia takes down Madalock. Unbelievable heavy play. The Shack melting through his opposite number. The res comes through, but Emilian will take out Ploppy in the meantime. He is taking names, kills Madalock a second time. I don't think he's going to get the final one, but only because he has to reload, and this fight is out of his range. Mickey will claim T-Wise. That's a clean wipe coming out onto Bad Wife as we tune back into Roma, and the rest of Aimers are dead.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, the triple shotgun's working out. The kill pacing is so good. I mean, Aimers and also Saints 1 are neck and neck, 1,500 apiece. Look at that, the same amount of kills. This is pretty much the same amount of combat score, too. This is actually wild to watch. And I think that at the very end of it all, we could just see Aimers and Saints 1 playing just a 1v1 with spectators. Bad Wi-Fi, Team Extreme, depending on whether or not Team Extreme Bad Wi-Fi actually get a good run-up on this next catch, because we're looking to see Saints 1 plug in onto D. A Bad Wi-Fi has full control over this Assault building.
Position here. Oh, it looks as though Aimers have managed to recover against Team Extreme on the other side, but we'll keep an eye on that. Of course, they are activating that steal, and it should be successful, but we'll stay with someone and the rest of Saints 1 right now as they're holding from nice position above. Someone taking his eye off the ball here as the steal is coming out. I don't know, a little bit late to react there, but Mickey comes in at least and denies it, spares him his blushes there. He's still alive as well, Mickey, despite going in alone, and now he's got the team to back him up. Bad Wi-Fi are really suffering here. Look at the health just depleted instantly from Emilian and MXKX. Mickey doing work there, defending their cash out. We'll turn on over to Aimers, who have lost Elix in the fight, but they are defending quite nicely. Team Extreme have an opportunity to steal Ardy.
Oh, here we go. They don't even go for the drop play, but unfortunately, because they do that, the steal will come out, but it's not going to matter too much. Team Extreme, wait, maybe it does!
Roma.
Team Extreme gonna be going down to just Arpika, but Roma is him. Roma is alive and well. That's what's gonna happen. As Elix comes back, he's gonna be able to focus on this. Arpika unable to find a trophy, unable to find any opportunity to get the res up. He's gonna try to stall out the SH-1900. He misses one key shot. Elix just sticks and he doesn't care, and Arpika goes out. But it's not a wipe. Team Extreme, Drax came back with the coin. Leading Dagger has the opportunity to do so as well, and he will. So it is going to be one more opportunity to jump in on a cash out C right now. You can see Drax already taking the early oppression, and Roma gets wished, but he's saved by the barrier.
Oh, RPG and winch, you really want to get more value out of that, and Roma's very happy to be in a good position to avoid it. Very little time remaining, and they drop it down into the gas. That's probably it for Team Extreme. Don't have time to get the steal. They're just going to fight for their pride right now, and maybe get a few kills on the way out to ease the pain, get a bit of cash, but no. Drax struggling to track Roma, who just runs rings around him with that matter. Roma really standing out here as a controller player in the lobby. And look at him, he's on the billboards, and rightfully so.
Oh, absolutely. And the other side of the table, exactly as I said before, it's going to be Saints 1 and Aimers neck and neck. Just the $1,500 divides them right now. That gap slowly closing as Roma finds another pick onto C-Wise right now. Trying to figure out they get in. Ramka taking out Ploppy. It's a full wipe onto Bad Wi-Fi early on here. And Aimers have just closed that $1,500 gap. But Saints 1 have control over B. They have Vault 6. It gets plugged. Vault 5 in control right now by Aimers. Will it find its way over to cash out A? It does. We're going to be seeing now cash out B on the Engimo building. Being held out by range, but someone's already down, Jerry.
Actually, simultaneous plugs from the two top contenders in the lobby right now. And really, it's only Team Extreme that have a chance of snagging top place. If they steal one of these, they might have to ride their luck and hope that maybe Bad Wi-Fi steal the other. Bad Wi-Fi have to steal both. It's virtually impossible for them to get anywhere out of this. Maybe still third place away from Team Extreme. But those are the stakes right now. Honestly, at this point, Saints 1 and Aimers are hoping that they can gather kills during their defenses. The steal is coming out, though, from Team Extreme. They have managed to flip that successfully, as Saints 1 seemed happy to let that happen rather strangely. They were set up to defend, and they did not collapse, but they're going to go for the kills in the transition, and it looks as though that gamble has paid off. Look at all the damage they're able to unleash on to Team Extreme. It's just Arpika left, the light, and he's down. Very smart objective-based play there, allowing the steal and collapsing in the post. In the other side of things, we have Bad Wi-Fi having wiped aimers, and this could really flip the script.
Oh, I know, because also the same thing happening where Team Extreme, they were in control, but now Saints 1 is back in, and so we got the upper dog versus the underdogs, and to be honest with you, Saints 1, they're looking to be able to hold full control on this because they are also in a position where they can actually fully grief over Cash Out A. Bad Wi-Fi, as they hold control, it is questionable whether or not they're going to maintain, but wait, what is this? Aimers, they're going for Cash Out B. They've got Saints 1 in their targets. Roma, he's looking to stall up on the very top. They find Mickey early on. Elix, the model's gonna hit. Mickey goes down. A lot of damage is chunking through. Aimers, the 2-on-1. Someone is still alive. They're gonna be able to get the res on Elix. They have to start this steal now, though. They know that that's gonna force someone to start onto the stall. Oh, but there's so much goo. There's so much gas. They can't get to it.
There's no way that that's how it ends. 10 seconds left on the other side, and it seems as though Bad Wi-Fi have probably done enough to secure themselves a third-place finish. The Saints 1 coming out as the team that could defend their box from the lesser sides in this lobby. That's what made the difference in the end. Saints 1, once again, coming away with a first-place finish.
Wow, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, that some of these teams are not doing enough to prevent cash-out manipulation with barricades and goo, but Saints 1 absolutely is. I mean, there was no way that Abers didn't end up having the time to steal after that. But again, what is this? We have another 21 kills from Saints 1. To put that in perspective, Saints 1 has had enough kills over 3 games to be able to count as a second-place finish on its own.
Yeah.
What is happening?
They are locked in. And it's a shame as well for Aimers, who finished second in this round, but also, in fact, have more kills. 22 to their name. Had they held on to that final box, they'd have been coming out with an extra 30 compared to, or 40 rather, compared to what they get. 60 points for second place, 100 points for first place in our league standings. As they're starting to take shape, and Saints 1, I can expect them to be climbing way up close.
Absolutely. And I mean, when it all comes down to it, yeah, Aimers isn't worried about Saints 1 fully overtaking their performance from day one in just a few maps. But overall, Aimers not getting first place even once during those 3 maps means that their overall potential in the leaderboard across all groups is slowly fainting. They ended second on Wednesday, but now I don't even know. Actually, third on Wednesday, I don't even know. But still, it is trifling to say the least. So once we have our next few maps underway, it's really going to be down to this, where Aimers need to full challenge Saints 1 and try to shut them out. It's got to be a lot of aggro fights. It's going to have to be a lot of just straight up aggression from Aimers here.
Yeah, and after only 3 maps, Saints 1 are basically outperforming everyone so far today. They've almost caught up to the GOATs in points, who had an incredible day. And yeah, that just goes to show that they're racking up the kills, they're racking up the wins. They only really need another 150 or so across the next 2 games to do that. Maybe even less than that. Of course, life maths is dangerous, kids. Don't do it. But I'm giving you vague ideas. That's how I'm getting around it. Speaking of vague ideas, I had a vague idea we might be going to Seoul at some point today, and it's happened. I'm glad to see it. It's one of my favorite maps. It is a really punishing map. One of the maps where cash outs and objective spawns matter so much more than everywhere else, because you can completely dictate play depending on where those end up.
Oh, but this is also Aimers' bread and butter. Ramka loves running the KS-23 on this map. We're going to be seeing that exactly here. Team Extreme going to be running into the shotgun of death right now, and already
KS.
leading Dagger down to just 50 HP. Our Pika going out as well. Insta-deleted. 1 shot is all it takes. Elix has the opportunity to get res right back up here. So we'll see a 2-on-3 situation for Team Extreme. Not really going to be favorable towards them, but hey, Vault 2 still hasn't been procced. There's another 20 seconds left on the table here. And, well, as that health continues to chunk back down, we see Elix locking in the pike. And, well, that's going to be Vault 2 ready to go.
Yeah, Aimers doing a great job there. We'll have a look over at Vault 1. It's currently in the hands of Saints 1. Emilian finding the kill onto Floppy, and that confirms a team wipe onto Bad Wi-Fi. They are blessed with the hospital spawn, but they are under immediate pressure. No time to set up, it would seem. Although aimers, no, they are turning their attention, of course, to defense. Why am I so silly? Right now, we have a construction defense, and that's where everything's going to happen, most likely.
Crane already taken away thanks to some well-placed utility, but it has fallen into a spot that could prove to be different later. Find out if that's going to make anything difficult for any teams coming up. But speaking of teams coming up, it's Team Extreme coming up to the construction site here. Bad Wi-Fi could also be looking. Their spawn not favorable to the hospital, so might be a third-party situation here. Team Extreme is anticipating that. Nobody wants to challenge a hospital ever, Jerry.
My question is, where are Bad Wi-Fi right now? What are their movements? Because everyone else is just waiting. Oh, it looks like they are deciding to fight Team Extreme. So there's going to be a fight between the two teams contesting A before they can even get a chance to attack it. We have Madlock, invisible, waiting for his opportunity here. There's been a switch up in roles on Bad Wi-Fi, just so we're aware. Ploppy now on that heavy as Madlock and him have swapped places. Attempted steal coming in before any kills is very brazen here from Bad Wi-Fi. It gets winched out of position by aimers. They say, no, 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 no. You don't dare try that. The shots coming out from Madlock aren't quite going to connect onto the back of the light, who will be able to fall back. Arpika just standing off. Everyone's standing off in this fight. It seems the rest of Bad Wi-Fi have got to try and tackle the problem at its source, take down aimers, but they are losing their fights, leaving only Madlock alone. He didn't get the memo. That's a real problem. But it has opened the doors for Team Extreme to try and go for that steal, and they've managed it. Are the kills going to come out, though, from aimers in response?
Oh, Roma has the opportunity, but Drax hits a winch, and the winch is going to do the rest of the work for him. Just down to Elix, who has the opportunity to go for the res. He's close to Ramka's trophy. I think he did manage to get away with it. The question is, will there be time? Because Saints won. Well, it's grief o'clock, and they're here to not only finish their cash on Hospital, but they are also here to try to make a play onto this one. But wait a second, the timing a little bit off, because Team Extreme just finished that cash out. And did I not just see somebody move over to try to finish that? No, it's Saints 1 still.
Bad Wi-Fi and Team Extreme seem to have a bit of a truce going on there. They were like, well, nothing's going to happen if we just take pot shots at each other. Bad Wi-Fi decided, you know what, we're going to be the ones to sacrifice our early money to maybe give aimers a little bit of something to think about. And Team Extreme were the ones that benefited. But that closes the gap a little bit. That does mean that, of course, aimers are a bit further behind. That could work out for Bad Wi-Fi in the long run, but they don't want to play loser, ideally. I think it was just, you know, better the devil you know, if anything, from it.
Absolutely. Beautiful shots from someone, not able to finalize them on the leading dagger, but Drax about to possibly make a surprise now.
Nice.
It's full plug there by someone, and they have full height control as well. That being said, under construction means that they will have to contest a little bit with some shots that might come over to the construction site, where aimers have fully wiped out Bad Wi-Fi. Retaining control of the cash out means Team Extreme. They're going to be setting their sights over to aimers that looks a little bit more doable. They've done it once. They might be able to do it again.
Well, Saints 1 offering aimers a little bit of respite there. Team Extreme definitely wanting to third party on aimers here on construction, but they took a lot of shots from behind from billboards as they made that jump. So this is a rare instance of aimers and Saints 1 actually helping each other out, which I don't think they wanted to do intentionally, but, you know, you go for kills, you're trying to eventually be top of the table, and sometimes the kills do matter when it comes to that. Some shots from leading dagger, or just the one shot, the pike, the love tap at range. There's a lot of moving parts here that are going to be difficult for each team to keep track of, as, of course, as you mentioned, both of these points have sightlines on each other.
Exactly, and oh, there it is, aimers. They're able to pick up the opening, but Bad Wi-Fi, they got the spawn at Petronel Plaza. They make their way over, and they're about to start dealing damage, but Matterlock actually falls into the pit in the middle of under construction, which is kind of unfortunate. So that actually might have put a little bit of a damper in things. But aimers, they are still in control, and the control they might retain, but they got to wait for those coins to come back in, and for now, it is terrifying that Bad Wi-Fi is able to get in as clean as they wanted to. Literally no contest, but Team Extreme comes through. They say, hey, that's Bad Wi-Fi steal. We'll let it happen. The steal is going to come through for Bad Wi-Fi, which is good for them. Keeps aimers away from that top score line. If the Zarpika goes down, Team Extreme now the bad guys here for Bad Wi-Fi.
Poppy just waiting for that heal, waiting for the opportunity to then re-peak. What's going to happen, though? He can't find anyone. There we go. Finds the medium, who slides out of the way. That winch is okay, but it doesn't really buy him anything. Raimka will take down Floppy, and he will take down Seawise as well. Then melting through Bad Wi-Fi, it's only Madlock, and he doesn't really have time to play with here. everyone up on the side of Amers. They should get this steal successfully. He can't find the push. The steal is successful. Madlock now has to dive out. Ploppy has coined back in, but it might be too little too late. The question is now whether Team Extreme can come in the third party. They are all up. They managed to get those kills. The goo is perfectly placed for them, but it evaporates. In comes Saints 1 to play spoiler.
Saints 1 lets the steal happen!
Did let the steal happen. Perfect macro play, griefing out Amers, and that puts them well ahead and allows Saints 1 to be in control of this final wave.
They let the steal happen. That's so unfortunate. Griefing is crazy. Saints 1. They, like you said, it is macro controlled. It's everything. You get Vault 6 opened up, and it looks like Saints 1, well, they have been avoiding the construction site now. This is the perfect opportunity for them to actually change things up and make that work out as, well, it's a very instantaneous plug as soon as that vault gets opened. Actually, that could be a direct deposit depending on how well that gateway has been placed. It is a direct deposit. You love to see it.
Spawn. Oh, God. But there is a team over there. So there's going to be a lot of contention between both Bad Wi-Fi and Amers.
Oh, wow.
We'll be telling as well because, of course, it's difficult to cross. But once you have crossed, it becomes a much more open and even playing field. Elix, though, make sure that's not the case. By taking out Ploppy early on, the heavy down for the count in this situation is really rough because you want to be able to manipulate that cash out. Of course, he has been res back up, but this is now a chance for the reset. Steal is going to come through as they find their chance. That DMAT and jump pad play does not work out, and the box has been stolen successfully. Now Amers have to defend as Bad Wi-Fi are circling. Oh, a good opportunity for a pick there from Madlock, but he can't find it. Elix takes out Ploppy. Reimka finds CYs as well, and now it's all up to the light in a 1 versus 3. I don't think he's got a hope in hell, Artie, but he does start with a kill onto Elix. That's what he wants. Almost finds the second as well. If there are any heroics to be had, it's right here, but no, Roma finds it, and I don't think they're going to come under much pressure for the rest of this game, Artie. They should be well out in front, but they will only secure second place if they hold this.
And this is, again, it keeps happening where Amers just find themselves at the behest of Saints 1, where, yeah, they're going to be winning some cash outs, but they're still just behind enough to where it hurts. And, I mean, honestly, we keep talking about the kills at the end. I want to talk about the kills now because Saints 1 consistently dropping 20 bombs in the lobby is what's allowing them to get so far ahead. Right now, it's not a 20 bomb, but 12 is still nothing to scoff at. That's an extra $6,000 in the bank, Jerry. That's 1/3 of a cash out.
Yeah, we only have 30 seconds left here, Artie, between the two cash outs. I don't think anyone's going for hospital. It's all going to be around construction on B. Saints 1 defending as it stands. We see our Pika finally make his way up, but to what end? The rest of his team have managed to circle, and Team Extreme, they have had the luckiest time of it so far this game, but that lucky rabbit's foot disappears off the edge of the known universe as it falls to the streets of Seoul. No chance to steal. Up come Bad Wi-Fi to try and do it at the death, but no. That is Emilian there. Solid, reliable, dependable with the winch to secure his team's victory. And once again, Saints 1 walk away with it.
I cannot believe the absolute show that Saints 1 is putting on here. And yeah, the very end, the stall potential, just throw it to the void, let it come back, buy as much time as humanly possible. They finished with 15 kills, so the only map that they have not won first place and gotten a 20 bomb, but they still get first place. So what really matters at the end of the day? And for Amers, again, second place. Again, a lot of kills, 19 to be exact, but still, we're not crossing that finish line in a way that matters.
Yeah, and at the moment, this map, or this group, is playing out somewhat similarly to Group B, but the difference being that Saints 1 have really taken this entire group by the scruff of the neck. They didn't care what happened on Playday 1. 4 wins in a row, Artie. I don't think we saw that on Playday 1. You were there, so I may be mistaken.
We have not seen that. We've not seen 4 wins in a row from any team.
And they could make it 5 as well. That would be a Pro Hubs first, because we haven't had 5 maps in a row in a Playday in Season 0. It was only 4. So it could happen. It very much could happen. And Saints 1 are a team that have managed to do 4 in a row before. Making it 5 would be really impressive. It has happened in NA, if I'm hearing that correctly, Artie?
I think it did happen last week in NA. NA, though. But
all right.
so there was a 5-peat in NA. but
Well, I'm
it
an
was
EU
Team
boy.
ED. Yeah, exactly. Here at EU, this is all that matters. This could be EU's first 5-peat. However, we are on Sis Horizon next, and that map has historically been an Aimers map.
You said that about Soul, though, Ardy. Like, I don't know how much we can keep putting our hopes on Aimers, just the way that Saints want to play
Not
today.
biased, by the way. Not biased, by the way.
Yeah, maybe a little. Saints won, though, today. That was the first time that they didn't rack up a ton of kills, right? Aimers, in the stats in that game, did fantastically well. They are now punching, right? They are now putting up the kills and making a difference. But, of course, they need some of that objective play to go their way. And honestly, Saints 1 are just doing it perfectly. You know, they're understanding the macro. They saw, for instance, on that second catch out that they could stand to benefit from Team Extreme stealing. They allowed it to happen. Team Extreme are very happy with that. They've basically been trading 3rd and 4th places with bad Wi-Fi throughout the day. So they are in a situation where they are fighting to try and make it through to the next round already, as in the next stage of the tournament once we hit the 3v3s. Because in case you're wondering, guys at home, it is a 12-team league, and the top 8 go through to the next league after these 6 play days are done. So you don't want to be in the bottom 4. Right now, Bad Wi-Fi and Team Extreme are squarely right there.
Yeah, and I mean, when you get in a group with Aimers and Saints 1, you know you're probably not going to be making any progress to get out of there. But at the very least, that 3rd place finish is going to help them quite a bit. For Aimers, they're locking in this time, now more than ever. And with Team Extreme on the other end of the barrel, we will be seeing Aimers get a early pick on Arpika. Drax as well, health being chunked away. Raink is traded, but the damage has already been done. Team Extreme have been team deleted.
They have, and on the other side we have a fight between Bad Wi-Fi and Saints 1. Saints 1 doing quite well, it seems, so far. All of them up the count. Meanwhile, CYS has been taken out by Mickey. And it's soon going to be a 3 versus 1 as Ploppy goes down. Hey, we got a riot shield in play. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for Ploppy, as he's played every single class today, which is very interesting. The rest of his team taken out. Madlock, the last one to go down. Yeah, Bad Wi-Fi really struggling to find any semblance of stability today in this group.
I mean, how can you against just teams as unpredictable as this? But, you know, hey, look, Aimers got the first cash, Saints 1 got the second cash. I am so surprised. This is not what we were expecting. Okay, so Team Extreme about to jump in on Aimers over to cash out A. Let's see if Team Extreme can find a good opening. APS is in place to continue to hold out Aimers' upper deck positioning. Oh, but they don't know. They haven't found out the positions just yet. A big opening, but the KS-23, the first shot misses, the second one does too. Arpika gets the first pick here. Team Extreme, they're going to be up 1 in this fight here. Elix goes for the hero res, but unfortunately that might not have been the right combination of movements. And, well, it's going to be Team Extreme getting the steal.
Arpika picking up a 3-piece in that fight as well, and he will heal up Drax, but that steal is interrupted by Bad Wi-Fi, who comes steaming in. That riot shield being put to good work as he's closing that distance, but Arpika comes in yet again to save his teammate, and Bad Wi-Fi have come out really poorly in this engagement, despite having that surprise factor. Arpika with a second. He's carrying his team through. Unfortunately, Madlock puts an end to his Raid of Terror. Nope, I said it too soon. Leading Dagger will bring him back up. He says, we need you in this fight. You are carrying us right now. They're going to try and stick the seal for a second time, while Madlock is the last one alive. He's going to take the bait, come close, but no. He just gives his position away. Arpika has now smelt blood, and he's giving chase, but I think Madlock has done enough to keep himself alive, keep Bad Wi-Fi in the fight, as the res, or rather the coin, is going to come through.
Wait, but to the other side of things, Aimers is trying to take out Saints 1, and they get an opening onto someone. Elix gonna be going down to half HP, but so does Mickey. Roma gets a good opening here as well. Roma picks up 2, it's just down to a million on the other side. Wait a second, Aimers just took out Saints 1 and takes control of the other. We're back here, though. We're still here looking at the museum. We're gonna be seeing Bad Wi-Fi trying to make their way in, but the gas is ticking. Floppy, he just beats Drax to death with a stick. And we're going to be seeing Bad Wi-Fi hold this out. He has the perfect body block, but Arpika has the shots. Takes out Floppy and CYS and Batterlock. And it's Team Extreme that get the cash out over in the museum. What are we watching?
Arpika with the masterclass. 8 kills on the first cash out. That is unheard of. Look at that. Head and shoulders above the rest of the lobby. And yeah, Team Extreme have him to thank for that. That was unbelievable.
Wow. And for the first time, Saints 1 does not get an opening cash out.
Yeah. And that is, well, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen here. Last possible chance for these teams to step it up. And I've got to say, Team Extreme, last game, they rode their luck a bit. But now, I feel like that's given them a bit of confidence. And now they're punching. They are up above. They are trying to contend with the rest of them. Let's see if it's consistent, though. Can they keep up the pace? Can they keep up the performance levels? CY's taking out Roma on the other side, but we're looking right here at Saints 1 versus some team. I'm trying to work it out. Process of elimination. They're suffering. Here we go. It's Team Extreme. Team Extreme.
I was going to try to let you get that.
Yeah, don't trust me. And Cash Out C is in a place I don't think I've ever seen it before. Is that a new Cash Out spot?
No, it's up there. It allows you to pull it all the way out into the alleyway like this, and now they can defend from campus very successfully. Now, looking to see Saints 1 trying to play in and out of these doors here. They are going to be playing the peak game and make it very difficult for Team Extreme to actually get involved in this fight. Arpika needs to find a good angle, but they will not let that happen. The steal could start out now, and Saints 1 might actually let it happen. They are in the process of moving out, but they have enough stall util on it to just keep them at bay. The C4 triggers, and, well, it knocks everybody back.
Saints 1, of course, they need this to keep themselves in it. This is a decent position they've got, and someone has that long cross angle while Emilian and Mickey take the brunt of the beating, but Leading Dagger with the FAMAS does find Mickey, and that leaves just Emilian all by himself. Does get topped up by someone as they manage to regroup in the two, but they're going to have to try and kite away while they wait for this coin to come in from Mickey, who does so immediately. Glitch goes out preemptively. No steal attempted, but the winch has put it in a better position. Now they can try and go for it. Oh, that glitch did not go through the doorway there. That's a bit of a blunder. The steal is successful. Leading Dagger sticks it and then escapes with his life with this gateway, but the chase is real. Someone finding Arpika in the collapse. Emilian takes out Leading Dagger. It's only Drax now left defending in this transition. Saints 1 have been so good at this, allowing the steal and then collapsing when a team are in transition, but they do have to worry about possible third party.
Oh, wait, but Amers on the other side. Amers is getting stolen from. They actually hold it off just in time. But yeah, it is Saints 1. They get this finish. Sorry, but oh my god, that was actually so close with... Amers almost lost that.
This is a game where two things happen at once, ladies and gents. We have to keep track of it all. Arpika, once again, just finding his man. Unfortunately, adding to the kill tally in this situation isn't going to make a difference. He has to close that gap and try and get the steal against two players who are well set above. They got the DMAT, they got the winch, they've got the mines as well. Wow, he just evaporated, and they're going to get the kill onto Leading Dagger, which is Arpika has escaped, but to no avail. That is a cash out going the way of Saints 1, and once again, we are back in the status quo. Amers and Saints 1 at the top, but it is Amers that are just ahead.
There we go. That American schooling working out so well for Saints 1 as they're able to use those guns in campus very nicely. We're going to be able to see Amers now on the other side as they're getting these shots out exactly where they matter, finishing off this vault fight and retain control over the cash out. So when that vault comes through, it's going to be an easy allowance for them to get set up here in the library. But what a beautiful start to things with that fight there. I mean, this is what Amers needed, right? An opportunity for first.
Yeah, this is putting them in control of the game. And of course, Saints 1 know this. They are closing that gap. They don't want Amers to get a breath in. And someone finds a kill. Remka trades out with a nice shot from the KS-23 onto the light. Now we have ourselves a 2 versus 2. Is there going to be a res? We have to keep an eye on that. But look at them. They are bearing down on Remka. Saints 1 are not letting them get set at all. Someone finally gets rezzed up by Mickey. Now it's a 3 versus 3 again. Everyone's going to try and hit that regen as the teams are regrouping, going for a second attempt here. The steal is being forced here by Saints 1, and that unfortunately doesn't work out for Remka, trying to destroy from beneath. The steal is successful, but the kills come out. Elix and Roma finding 2 each, and now someone left defending this box after it's been stolen has to do something magical. I think he's bailing, Ardy. I don't think he believes in himself, and that steal will go the way of Amers. Right now, Saints 1 are in a comfortable second, but Vault 6 is on the move. It could even be doubled because it's in the hands of teams that really need it to be.
Oh yeah, they are going to be going for that double there as it makes its way over. The library is about to be entered, but the double hits. Amers still in control, but they lose Roma early on, but they shouldn't have to worry too much. They know the bad Wi-Fi is here, about to try to start the steal. You know that some other teams could possibly go for the stall, but no, they're all on their own here. Everybody's trying to grief them out, so Amers, they're on their own trying to stop this, but he's got it. Elix goes down. The Riot Shield blocking every single shot that's going in. The cash out gets stolen. Amers down to just Roma. Elix out of coins, meaning that they have to go for that res. Let's see what's gonna happen now as the timer ticks down. Less than 30 seconds in the lobby. Saints 1 gonna get wiped out as well. This could be bad Wi-Fi actually coming through with this cash out to take first place. Team Extreme to be making their way in as well. As soon as that gas fades, they need to go for this. Drax has to get the winch, pull it into a spot where he can get the steal. But CY's is already there. CY's gonna be doing some damage. He gets winched out by Amers instead. Amers gonna be trying to stick the steal. They are able to, but he gets shot off. It's bad Wi-Fi that takes first place, and Amers once again relegated to second. But this time, Saints won merely third.
Wow. Bad Wi-Fi finally coming up with the goods. Knew that it was all or nothing at the death. I don't know whether they got the plug on that double. It was either them or Team Extreme that brought it all that way. But they got the all-important steal at the very end. Commiserations to Team Extreme, who finished the day in fourth again. I think possibly that would have put Team Wi-Fi well ahead of Team Extreme for the day. Just that single first place finish. And yes, Saints 1 couldn't get the 5p, but they did try. Boy, did they try. Look at Amers, though. Again, another high frag performance from them, but finishing second. That has been their trend today, and it's not been enough for them, but they will have better days.
Absolutely. And I mean, even with the changes of the points, right? 100 points for first place, 60 points for second. Finishing every single game in second place is still good. The difference here is that Saints 1 finished 4 games in first place. So every game in second would be good if teams were at least trading that first place position off. But this was still a masterclass from Saints 1. And I gotta say, though, another 20 bomb from Amers. This is looking good for them. I mean, honestly, the kill points enough from both Amers and Saints 1 have just been magical. But for bad Wi-Fi, I mean, this is just capitalizing on a good position. For Team Extreme, though, it is a very rough show of things, a rough group to be in, to say the least, but you can't always just complain about, oh, what group am I in that's going to be able to work out? There's so many things that come into it, but what a great day here for day 2.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And I'm glad that we got to finish the day with a Riot Shield. That is, you know, something that we rarely get to see. And it was blessed. It was blessed. It was the defining factor of that final steal. I say that. It made literally no difference. But it was the medium of Ploppy that got that steal. It gives you no benefit when it comes to stealing. But I suppose you can get out of the situation at the end a little bit more safely. Here we are, having a look at the total points across both Playdays.
Wow.
And you can see that Saints 1, having started the day in 10th position, have ascended all the way to 5th. A massive jump up for them, probably the biggest climb that we see from a single team today. The Goats lording it over the rest of the league with their top place position right now. Not far behind are Pulsar and then Amers, and there's a big old jump down to 4th. At the moment, Makeshift and Bad Wi-Fi trailing behind most of the rest of the teams, but we're only 2 days in out of 6, Ardy, so it's still plenty on the line. And yet, as we saw, you know, just that one win in a day can make all the difference. Team Extreme really closing that gap on 9th place.
Exactly. And I mean, I gotta say, this is what I was talking about at the beginning, where Saints 1, even though they got so many first place finishes, Amers did so well on day 1 that they were able to have a little bit of insurance. And then finishing, like I said, every game in second place, it's not a bad score to say the least, but still, they didn't make any progress at catching up against Pulsar and the Goats. They're honestly about the same score differential as they were on day 1, which honestly is still better than losing position, right? So for Amers, they're still feeling fantastic here in 3rd. For NDA, closing up just a little bit that gap, but Saints 1 is just one more day away from this. I mean, Amers have to make sure that whatever happens on day 3, there's more than one, there's more than 0 first place finishes.
Yeah, that's the aim. Just a couple of points before we sort of wrap things up, Hardy. It's been really great to see the community come out in full force today in chat. We got so many donations, particularly at the start of the stream. So thank you so much. All of those subs, all those donations, all the bits, everything goes to the prize pool. Hardy, what are you gonna say?
I did miss another 5 gifteds from Yoink and Boink as well as him subbing himself. So that puts Yoink and Boink 47 gifteds into the chat as well as his own sub. Yoink and Boink, thank you so much for helping to support these players. Your prize pool will directly be affecting every single one of those teams that you saw today. So beautiful stuff here, everybody. All right, continue, Jerry. You had to point that out.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is just it's interesting that after the first Playday, we saw, you and Waltz were talking about it, how diverse the meta felt. And already we're starting to see a little bit more of a honing in on things, a little bit more of a kind of a structured thing. But there is still that diversity in weapon choice. I think we saw one mesh heavy today. By the way, everyone on Winch, which is something to be said for, considering the end of last season, where it was a somewhat even divide. You only really ran Winch if you were running a Sledge, but then also some teams ran it anyway just to get that cash out manipulation. Now it's pretty set. Like the 3 specializations you're going to see all the time are going to be DMAT, Winch, and Dash. So yeah, some
invis in there too.
A little bit of invis, tiny bit of invis over here in EU, but we don't tend to see it in NA. So yeah, it's interesting what becomes like very set in the meta and what hasn't. This is of course our first season with the H+ Infuser, and that has made a massive difference on not just the way that Lights play, but the way that whole teams play. One of my most sort of enjoyable experiences today was watching NDA play around with just having that light and heavy as the core with a sort of circling pike, and that worked so well for them across the day. I think it's something that a lot of teams should sort of wise up to and start employing themselves.
Hey, we saw in the open qualifier, that was the meta there. We saw on day 1, that was what a lot of teams were experimenting with. And yeah, I mean, it is starting to figure out, hey, is it worth it to play off that? Is it worth it to just keep onto that? But I think that probably by this upcoming Wednesday, we'll see teams solidify whether or not they want to play just perfect medium pike with H+ Infuser light on the core. We'll see what happens. But anyway, chat, that is it for us. I mean, hey, things are heating up here in the Pro League. We love to see it. Things are also heating up here as well. I mean, I'm wearing my polo shirt like a crop top. You don't want me to stand up. But that's been it from us. Thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget that we've got the NA Playday number 2 coming up later. Before we send it off, Jerry, any last words?
You know me, Ardy. I have no last words. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay. Bye.
I was a young kid trying to get noticed. Big underdog psychosis, but I've been blessed with a vision and focus. Back then I never been so hopeless, but I kept living with the faith in process. So ill yet no diagnosis. Thank God I had to make that progress. It's all about mindset. Bells ring when I see that drifting. Been around and back to the point that I knew that it needed shifting. Cut off the man that would drag me down till I'm feeling lifted. Like ditch him, ditch him, ditch him. You will never see me switching. I can't put you say behind my back, cause you know I can't waste my energy on people that I don't see. You never could do anything that ever faced me. I like you had to hold the grudge, cause I don't know. Yeah, see up in that dream, setting that pace like I'm doing up FIFA. Innovating the scene with the ether, lift up the team like follow the leader. How many times did I compromise to make deals on the side cause I got too eager? That's broke boy trying to get a feature, now I get paid for the rhythm, it's leisure. Used to be so low, reminisce way back when I was alone. Got pain from my mind,